Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the beautiful Daytona International Speedway for round number one of the Sunday premiere Next Gen Series presented by Mercatees. We are excited to have things up and running here today. And alongside me, guys, I am Mike Tiller and Dakota LaRue, the master of chaos, the mastermind of calling out things as he sees it. Dakota, we are in for an absolute treat this season. What are you expecting the most out of these drivers?
Well, tonight with it being the first race, I'm expecting a lot of drivers to try to make their point and make their mark here tonight. But at the same time, I'm also expecting some good points racing out of a few of these guys. As the points is going to be the main thing that matters throughout the season to get a championship.
Yeah, definitely. These drivers are going to definitely give it their all, to give it everything that they've got. And, man, we've got a lot of really good drivers. Probably some of the best right here on Racers Elite. So, man, we could point people out and say, yeah, this is the guy that's going to win. But at the end of the day, we don't even know, you know, how all the season's going to come out to be the champion. And I believe we are going to a chase of format. So these guys are going to be running a little something different than what we're used to. Boom, boom, boom. Alrighty. Give me just one moment here. We are switching over into qualifying. And it looks like Frank Chavez, he's going to be the first one to head on out onto the track in his number 23 Raptor Chevy Camaro.
Hold on a second. Did you say a Raptor Chevy Camaro?
Look, I don't pick the sponsors of these drivers, all right? I'm just here to have a good time.
You telling me it's not a Ford Raptor?
It is not a Ford Raptor.
Oh man, I'm gonna go to the store and buy me a Chevy F-250 this week. I was playing. Tree Toke's Army car looking absolutely wonderful today as well.
Now let's take a good look here at his beautiful paint scheme. Something a little different here on Truth Hoax machine.
Well, I believe it's Tree Toke. There he is. Well, it's showing up for me for a minute.
As he comes out of turn forward across the start finish line, let's see what kind of a lap time he's looking to put down here. I'm going to jump over to Eric Dodd in that number 87 machine. He is on his way to the start finish line to put down his first lap.
Slacking a little bit and I accidentally closed up the YouTube.
All right, so Eric Dodd, he puts down last time of a 50.497. Truth Hoke, he will come across the line and he'll put down a lap time of a 50.391. That will put him on top of the leaderboard. David Davis and Ryan Warp are coming across the start finish line. Warp actually with a slower time of a 50.952. Davis puts down a time of a 50.405.
We're probably running the high side first lap here, I would imagine, going to the bottom side for the second lap. But looking at the YouTube channel, looks like we got Mr. Miller in here. He's saying it's too early. I'm still asleep. Have a great call, boys, in the Chevy Raptor F250.
Cody Benelli crosses the line, puts him fourth. Let's
Yeah,
see.
as I'm watching Ryan Wart come around for his second lap, getting ready to cross the line here and just momentarily, see if he's able to improve. And up the 30 goes. Only .02 off of the leader. Some really close qualifying times today so far.
Yeah, definitely. Here comes Aaron. Aaron Roth. He's getting ready to come off of turn number 4, and his was that Cat's Chevy. So he's gonna come across the line to complete his first lap, and that will throw him up to 8th on the board for the moment. Who's getting ready to finish up their second lap here? Adam Squires in his progressive number 35 Toyota Camry. He's looking to better his time. 50.697. That will only put him ninth fastest. Stephen Luttrell.
Did you say 6'7"?
Shut up. It's too dang early for that crap. Stephen Luttrell will cross the line in his number 36 machine with a 50.408. That'll put him fourth fastest. Troy Thomas just crossed the line, putting him fourth fastest now. Oh, Terry Fennell. He puts down a quick lap of a 50.356. That will put him on top of the leaderboard. Dana Ryan just puts in their first lap of a 5:07. Actually, a very slow lap there for Dana. That's 5 seconds off pace for the time being, but I'm pretty sure there's a little bit of strategy behind that if I had to take a wild guess. All right, Patrick Millett in that number 038 machine. He's going to come across the line to finish up his second run here. He'll go on top of the leaderboard with a 3:39. Really fast lap there for Patrick Millett.
Yep.
Robert Morris just crossed the line. No, he'll stay back in that 15th spot.
Looks like Jonathan Stidham gonna do an outside for his first lap, then probably gonna drop down to the bottom here. So we'll have to check and see what his second lap is because it should definitely be improved from the first one here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andrew Teft out on the track as well. Just now doing his out lap.
Yeah, and now he's come to the start finish line now to start his laps. And Brandon Puffenbarger, he is coming out of turn 4, heading to the start finish line. And let's see if he can jump towards the top of the charts. Currently sitting 12th. Next one to hit up the line is going to be Kirby Wainscott in that number 10 Toyota. And he's looking to better his last time of a 5:07. And he will put it up with a 4:11, so that'll put him 8th. Jonathan Stidham once again crossing the line, only able to get back up to 15th. And that AmericaTees.com Ford Mustang. Steve Sizemore just completed his first lap. A little bit on the slower side there as usual. Andrew Teft, he just finished up his first lap. Brandon Puffenbarger getting ready to cross the start finish line. Trying to get better than a 4:46.
Well, real quick, so speaking of AmericaTees.com being the sponsor of that car there, the race winner today is going to get a $25 gift card from America Tees. And then we also have a prize pool of $120 for certain drivers. I believe that's going to involve Dennis Kane, Brett Bray, Curtis Ecker, Robert Morris, Ryan Warp, Terry Fennell, Chris Lawrence, Aaron Roth, Andrew Teth, and Patrick Millett.
Yeah, it's definitely
Or
a lot of good prizes are to be won here tonight or today. Um, so Steve Sizemore, he was able to jump up to that third spot. Man, $110, huh?
110 or 120, depending on if Steve Sizemore decided to join today or not. I'm gonna send you the picture in case you want to try to pull it up on the broadcast.
Nah, it's good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we don't need that. All right, so it does look like everybody is done here. Let's pull up our pole sitter currently, as it looks like everybody is done qualifying. So Patrick Millett, let's see what we can do about getting Patrick Millett up here. Is he down here in?
I am
Yeah,
not seeing him.
LNG. I got him.
LNG. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Patrick, this is Mike and Dakota up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you guys. What's up?
Patrick, you are starting on the pole for the Mercatees.com 400 here at Daytona to start off the season. How's that making you feel, and what's it going to take for you to keep yourself up front?
Uh, I didn't really expect to be up front, so I was planning on riding in the back for most of the race because I've had some pretty bad luck here with the super speedway stuff. But the way that went, I'm probably just gonna try to stay up front. If I get shuffled back a little bit, I'll probably drop. But yeah, I guess I'm just gonna try to stay up there. But it's a tough spot to be, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, so we'll keep it nice, short, and sweet, and simple. Dakota, any questions for Patrick before we send him down?
Well, got a pole for the first race of the season, and I mean, you said you're gonna try to stay up front. I mean, if you're able to win this thing, what kind of momentum you think it's gonna carry throughout the rest of the season here?
I, this is supposed to be a one-off for me. But if
Fair
I
enough.
if I win, maybe I'll have to reconsider and start running a little bit. It'd be dumb not to, I think.
I mean, fair enough, man. But good luck in your race today, sir.
These guys have fun.
Alrighty, so that was your pole sitter, Patrick Millett. Let's go ahead and take a look here at our starting lineup for today's
Real quick,
Yes.
Matt Mantler, we appreciate that super chat, sir. Shut up, it's too dang early for that crap. Before we end up missing it and forget. Appreciate you, sir.
All right, starting on the pole, Patrick Millett's in that number 38 machine, followed by Terry Fennell in his number 50 Grizzly machine. Row number 2, Steve Sizemore, Frank Chavez to his outside. Truth Hoke and David Davis will make up row number 3. Row number 4, Troy Thomas, Stephen Luttrell. Row number 5, Kirby Wainscott and Chris Lawrence. Ryan Warp and Dana Ryan will make up row number 6. Row number 7 is going to be Aaron Roth, and to his outside it will be Brandon Puffenbarger. Row number 8, Cody Benelli will be joined by Andrew Teft. Row number 9 is Rowan Lloyd and Jonathan Stidham. Row 10, you got Adam Squires and Eric Dodd. Dodd? I don't know. Dodd? Robert Morris and Brian LaPratte will make up row number 11. Row number 12, Alex Teft and Dennis Kane. Row number 13, Timothy Eisburn and Chantel Pottle. I don't think Chantel's running, but Trevor Fetzig, he will round out our field. But our cars are now rolling off of a pit road, and we're going to get this thing underway here today. We saw last season, ladies and gentlemen, what incredible racing all around, throughout the entire season. Well, we're going to do it all again, and we are absolutely stoked to have everybody here with us.
Yep, and I got the thing ready for the green flag, so get that going here. That way it's set up and ready to go. If you catch my drift.
I catch your drift.
Man, I'm looking forward to an exciting race today, but with there being points on the line, I got a feeling these guys are going to take it relatively easy pretty early in this thing, as they typically do in the Racers Elite, which is not necessarily a bad thing here.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's going to be it's a 400-mile race, Dakota. You know, we were supposed to do the full 500, but due to NASCAR kicking back and trying to beat the weather today, we shortened ours by 100 miles. So with that being said, let's go racing here at Daytona.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys!
Patrick Millett and Terry Fennell lead the field to the green flag and out of the tri-oval. They are now going to run side by side, but it looks like Patrick Millett, he will have the better advantage here heading into turn number 1, getting a really good push from that number 08 of Steve Sizemore. We know yesterday, Steve Sizemore was very strong all race long, as they will now rocket down the back straightaway. Millett, he is protecting both lanes now. He's trying to make sure that no lanes get an advantage, as he will go back down in front of that 08 Sizemore. He wants to go ahead and block that inside lane, and he's looking to control this race here from lap number 1. Here they come to the start-finish line for the very first time. Patrick Millett, he will lead this field and get that bonus point for leading a lap. So that's something that he definitely needs early on in this race. Every bonus point is going to help the cause leading up to the chase. And out of turn number 2. God, just listen to those engines roar.
Yeah, and as we seen yesterday, I mean, you're going to have to get a good 2 or 3 cars kind of bumper nose to tail here to get that outside lane to work. And just too much of a gap between everybody up here at the moment. But like I said, they're probably going to be taking it easy here early, so they're only on lap 2. But you do see that outside line being led by the 23 machine of Freak Charvez, starting to get a little bit of a run there, especially with the help from Steven Luttrell and that 36 machine.
Yeah, definitely. And that outside lane, it is just falling back. So, yesterday, we saw that outside lane work absolutely phenomenal in the O'Reilly's Auto Part Series cars. But so far, it looks like right now, these cars are starting to fall themselves back a little bit more, as they are now side by side with that 50 of Terry Fennell.
Trying to get my paints reloaded here. There we go. I mean, Patrick Millett done a pretty good job up here in the front. Don't typically see him like leading here at the Super Speedway top races, but I mean, absolutely great qualifying attempt out of him, and it's making it work.
Yeah, definitely. He's doing a phenomenal job. He controlled both lines at the start of this race, so that really made it for a very exciting start. And now that with this field now getting themselves single file here on the exit of turn 4, I mean, your top good 15 drivers are single file. And then once you jump back to Brandon Puffenbarger and Steven Luttrell back here, this is where they're all currently running side by side at the moment.
They're probably going to be looking for a hole as soon as possible, but everything kind of closed up for the most part, and there's really nowhere for them to drop down. So unfortunately, they're going to lose a few positions, most likely.
Oh yeah, definitely. And at this point, it's okay to lose all those positions. As you see, I believe that was Alex Teft in that number 43 jumping to the outside. Yeah, that is Alex Teft in the 43.
Oh, both of the Teft brothers racing today. That's I don't think I've really been able to see Alex Tift run too many races. The few I have seen, he's done pretty fairly well in. So,
Man,
hey, you know what? Adam Squires did make it this morning.
yeah,
Uh,
I'm
We
excited
were,
to. Go ahead.
I believe we interviewed him yesterday, and he was saying that depending on his connection, if he would join or not. But looks like he was able to get in, and he's running 15th currently.
Yeah, it's definitely having a really good day so far in that number 35 progressive machine, as they will rock it here through turns 3 and 4. They're trying to make something start working on that outside lane. As who is that? I think that's Timothy. No, that's the 21 of Robert Morris. He's trying to help that outside lane start moving forward. But jumping back real quick to Alex Teft, he was a very dominant force in the truck series late in the season last season on Tuesday night. So, you know, he is definitely a very fast driver. We talked to him quite a few times last season. So, but seeing Alex and Andrew both here on the track at the same time at Talladega, that could be a very dangerous duo for this entire field.
We saying dangerous duo, or we're gonna have a brother rivalry here, and they're gonna take each other out. I mean,
Well, I've
I haven't seen these two race together on the track very much here, so I don't know how they work.
well, I have asked the question to Andrew last season. You know, they race each other harder than they race anybody else.
That's what it's all about, man. I mean, if my brother could actually see him race and make it around the track more than a lap, I'd probably race him pretty hard too. But unfortunately, even at Daytona, he'd probably find a way to hit every wall possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go ahead and jump back up here to the front of our field. Patrick Millette continues to lead this field as we now run single file here on lap number 9 of 160. And this is actually a very smart move for these drivers, as they rocket here now through turns 3 and 4, or 1 and 2, I should say, and down this very long back straightaway. Now they're just biding their time. It's a very long race, and I absolutely love what I'm seeing at this moment.
Um, it's the way I look at it in these long type of, I'd kind of consider it more of an endurance race than anything. I mean, if you destroyed the car early, you're sitting in a bad spot in a predicament where you're going to be trying to fix damage throughout the whole time, or you have to burn your fast repair and not have it late. So, I mean, I agree with you. Very smart move for these guys to be single filed out. I mean, just kind of ride right now. We don't have stages or anything in here, so there's no point in trying to, get to the front for stage points. Just ride around till the end and make your move then.
Yeah, absolutely. I ran my first Daytona 500 Wednesday night, and that happened for the very first time. We all got single file, and it was so awkward because something like that. Oh, we have caution here in the back.
Yeah, no,
Andrew
looks like
Teft,
Adam Squires.
yeah, Andrew Teft here is involved. Adam Squires facing the wrong way. Stephen Luttrell, Eric Dodd, Robert Morris possibly involved here as well. Brian LaPratt.
He turned him. He turned him.
Let's come back here, take a look, see what happened. It does. Oh yeah, it definitely happened a lot further up. Looks like right around the Andrew Teft area.
That started between the 35 and Andrew Tett, I believe.
Yeah, let me get to a different view. Here we go. Oh yeah, the 35 just gets turned off the nose of Andrew Teft, and just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars here involved in this one.
Is now the time we bring Andrew up here to ask him what was going through his head in that moment?
No, he is probably just beside himself at the moment.
All right. Well, first caution, and why don't we try to, after you get through, looking at the wreck here, why don't we try to get someone up here for an interview real quick?
Stephen Luttrell, he was able to slow his car down and get around. Really good heads-up driving by him. Let's see here. Eric Dudd. I want to try to see if Eric is down there so we can figure out how to pronounce his last name. The apron got him in that number 87 machine.
I don't see Eric, but I could be blind here, so if you want to double check, by all means.
You know what? Jump down and ask Andrew to ask Eric how to pronounce it.
Okay, can do.
Alright, while he's doing that, we're going to sit here and trash talk Dakota while he's talking to Andrew here. Man, that Dakota dude, he's just absolutely an amazing dude. Let me tell you guys what. Really, really good guy. So we do have a handful of drivers coming down pit road. Brian LaPratt, Andrew Teft, Adam Squires, Alex Teft, they're still down here on pit road getting damage done and repaired. Definitely not what these few drivers here wanted to see. We do have quite a few drivers still sitting down here on pit road, and once these drivers get some of this repairs done, let's see what we can do about.
All right, I believe they said Dodd, but they cannot ask him at the moment, so we'll have to kind of wait and see.
All right, Dodd. So we'll go with Dodd until further notice.
Or we could just call him Eric. I mean, hey man, things happen, all right?
Yep, that's for sure.
Welcome in, Jacob.
Take a look here. This is 15. You will be 18. Alright. So let me see if I can get this here working.
Hey, speaking of which, let me cut my voice chat back on so if I can actually hear a little bit of what's going on in the chatter wise.
Alright, so I really hate having to do it this way, but as you guys can see, Brian LaPratt, Trevor Fetzig, Alex Teft, Adam Squires, they all had to come down for repairs. Andrew Teft as well. I definitely got to look to see how to work that one a lot better. But right now, Patrick Millett, Truth Oak, they will bring the field back to the green flag.
Very curious on or very surprised a few people actually took tires here this early into the race. It's only been about 13 laps. As the tire wear is really not that bad on these cars.
Yeah, I don't think that many of them did come down to take tires. I think a lot of them were more along lines of just a fuel
fair enough, as it looks like we got someone down on the apron on the inside line. Not quite sure who that was, but Patrick Millett leading us back to the green here, out to a pretty good jump at the moment.
Yeah, not sure who that was, but your top 6 now are single file here on the exit of turn number 2. As you see Robert Morris and Brandon Puffenbarger back here duking it out for that 8th spot. And they are continuing to switch positions as these guys will now run double wide up here through turns 3 and 4. So these guys are definitely starting to make some movements now. As you see Troy Thompson, that 88 machine, jump to the outside. He's going to try to lead that outside pack towards the front. But as of right now, that outside lane, they're a little bit all over the place at the moment. So I don't think they're going to be able to move forward until they really get themselves into a little tighter formation.
Yeah, but it kind of looks like they started getting to a top formation on that outside, like you were saying, and then they kind of drop back again. I wonder if they're trying to just drop down to the inside line and cruise around for a little bit. They only lap 15 out of 160. A lot of these guys are very patient drivers and know when to be aggressive and when not to.
Yeah, that is true. As we take a look here at Cody Benelli, that 3rd car on the outside lane. He does drive for Local Motorsports. You know, let's take a look and see how Local Motorsports is. Oh, it's just Cody on that team. I take that back.
Yeah, we had a little bit of shuffling going on that inside lane. It looked like somebody got down on the apron and caused a little bit of a shake-up there.
Yeah, it does look like it hurt that inside lane at all. That outside lane is just falling back. Well, we do got a second group formed, being led by Brian LaPratt. It looks like all these drivers here are most of these drivers are drivers that was involved in that first incident. And it looks like Andrew Teft, he had to come down and serve a stop-and-go penalty, I think. No, he's down there possibly trying to get some service done on his race car, as he definitely lost the pack. So the field now coming down, so that's going to put Andrew Teft 1 lap down. Andrew Teft's going to have a lot of fighting back that he's going to have to do here for this race. I think it's a good possibility he's just very well may go 2 laps down, depending on the damage that he has on his race car.
So I was listening in over the radios, and I'm thinking there was that shake-up on the inside might have caused a little bit more damage there. That might be why he's down in the pits here.
Yep.
I mean, single fight out here at Daytona International Speedway, and some pretty good racing at the moment. Very nice, clean, and calm here, and we'll call this the calm before the storm. Once we get a little farther into this thing, especially, you know, these drivers get a little tired, get a little angry, hangry, whatever you want to call it here, and we'll start seeing a little bit more aggressive side-by-side action. But for right now, I mean, probably the smartest move out of everybody. So let's see, who's our biggest mover today?
Yeah, so
Timothy Osborne. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, Timothy Osborne in that 92 machine, currently sitting P11, up 14 spots since the start of this thing, and He's one of those. He knows how to make his way through the field, but typically either gets involved in some sort of incident or even causes an incident here and there. As last season, he was struggling a little bit with some wheel issues, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yeah, so Eisburn, he is part of a big team here with Patrick Millett, David Davis, Ryan Warp, Steve Sizemore, Dana Ryan, Brian LaPratt, Trevor Fetzig, Adam Squire, and I mean they're all spread out throughout the field here. But I mean he's got help from his teammate of Dana Ryan right behind him, so he's got the teammates out there to help him be dominant later on here today.
Yeah, and I got to work these waking up early jitters out as I'm getting a little, a little tired as I didn't sleep a lot, but that's okay.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that, and I mean I ain't gonna lie, I didn't really sleep well last night either because I had this race on my mind and I don't know why. I was really eager and excited to get this thing underway.
So far, it looks like the OBS is holding up pretty good today. We got a side bet here, $5 side bet that the Chevy Raptor F250. All right. Appreciate you, Matt.
Matt, we love you, buddy. Thank you so much.
Matt enjoying the super chats today. Having a little bit of fun.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't have fun, then what are you doing? As we take a look at that number 23 Raptor Chevy Camaro.
Ram F250.
So the funny thing is, yesterday in the ARCA series, I don't know if you watched it, but Minnie Tyrell, the winner of the Dodge
Race for the seat.
race for the seat deal, yesterday he ran a Ram Chevy in
Yeah,
the
I've also seen a
Xfinity
couple,
series.
Chevy Cummins here recently. I didn't know Chevy started putting Cummins in their Camaros, but I mean, whatever gets the job done. If you got to put a Dodge Power under the Chevy hood to get it done, I mean, as Matt would say, a little boogie under the hoodie there. To get
Yes.
the job done. It is what it is.
Putting a little boogie under that hoodie, we're gonna go green flag racing here at Daytona. Matt, I miss your brother. Love your antics up here in the booth.
And man, I thought it's starting to look like a couple of these guys are hanging back so far they're possibly going to lose the draft here, but they're starting to suck back up. I was getting a little worried that we was going to have a 4-car breakaway for a moment.
Yeah, so you could actually fall back just about 0.7 seconds before you really start to lose that draft. So as long as you don't fall much further back than that, you will be absolutely golden. As you see, the whole entire field now here will be running single file as we work lap number 25 of this event here today. And everybody that's tuning in, if you haven't done so, go make sure you put in your NASCAR fantasy picks. That all starts here tonight, or today, with the Daytona 500. And, what? Go for it.
I believe Racers Elite's got a NASCAR pick'em going, and the link should be posted at the top of the chat here. It's the Fantasy NASCAR here. Anyone is welcome. Anyone in chat's more welcome to join and hop in on the action here and enjoy themselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's it's a fun little competition, and I think I'm joined up on a couple of them already, so I've already got my picks in. I got them in early, Thursday as I was watching the duels. So I think I got a pretty good head start here, and we just gotta wait to see what will happen later on here today in just about 3.5 hours.
Yeah, I don't do pick'ems for a reason. Whether it be NFL or NASCAR, I could get the best people selected for, you know, I could get the best football players, I could get the best NASCAR drivers picked, and still will end up losing. I don't know what ends up happening, but every time I pick a team or players or anything like that, they typically just do not fare well. So I've just learned to not do that. It looks like Matt might be joining us up in the booth in a few minutes here, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I just want to take a look here at that number 21 of Robert Morris. He is rocking out our Mercatees.com sponsored race car.
Yeah, as well as that 42 not too far in front of him, Jonathan Stidham, also rocking America Tees sponsored, which is also the sponsor of the race for today, Mercatees.com.
Yeah, I know this is going to get a little bit quiet here on the side of the race cars, but we just want to take a really good look at that number 21 machine. He is rocking a Biff-styled number on his race car. And you said that number 42, Jonathan Stidham, he's also rocking the Biff number.
Hey, you gotta be like the Biff and do it for Dale, baby.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, brother. Alright, sorry. Police McFarland just kind of took over there for a minute.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I'm really proud of Cletus McFarland. He finished his first Daytona race. So, you know, I was really excited for him.
As a Cletus fan, I think it was a little too soon for him to jump in the trucks. I mean, baby steps, baby steps. Don't get me wrong, the dude can drive. He's an absolute wheelman, but I think he needs a little bit more practice.
Hey, you know what? The opportunity arose. Why not?
I mean, yeah, that is very true. But, you know, going into his next, if he does any more truck races or anything, I think he needs time to get, like, laps and a test session possibly. Because, you know, you get into practice and you can't really push the truck too much during the actual practice because the race starts later or the next day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely one of the toughest things, you know. But the problem, another big problem with that, you know, is that we don't have at super speedways that big packs that we're used to seeing, you know. They're all so limited, you know, to having 6, 7 cars, and at the end of the day, you really don't get that true effect of having, you know, 15, 20 trucks around you. You know, so there was no true way for McFarland to really get that feeling, you know, of what the truck will do after a certain amount of laps.
Hold on a minute. Millette going up to the outside to give up the lead here, potentially saves the fuel. Going to try to get back down, I believe, in that 4th spot. Not going to be cleared to do so. Going to lose a lot more positions than he intended to do here as he's falling back very quickly. Look, maybe Kirby Wainscott will let him in here. Not enough time, so he's going to try to have to hop in behind this 45 Ryan Warp, as there is a pretty good gap between Ryan Warp and Cody Benelli in that 19 machine right now.
Yep, there he goes right there. And, you know, yeah, definitely he needs to be saving all the fuel he can. You know, he's probably just a few laps here from needing to come down pit road. Because your top...
I mean, he's led 31 laps of this race so far, so he's definitely got the least amount of fuel out of everybody. Yeah. Definitely not a bad move to try to stretch his fuel out so he can pit with everyone else and not lose the draft. End up having to pit by himself or something.
Exactly. You know, that's a really good move there, as these drivers are still pretty much single file here. You know, and why does he need a safe fuel? What's the difference between him being out front and riding right here back now in that 8th spot?
So a little learning for anyone that doesn't do racing. Typically, when you lead at super speedways, you're 100% throttle all the way around the track versus the people that are behind you being about 90 or less. So they are using less fuel to get around the track going the same speed because of the draft here. Now, him dropping back here behind a good 7 cars is going to allow him to save even more because he's going to have a stronger draft to keep him sucked up to the guys in front of him here and around the same speed as them without having to use as much throttle. That is going to allow for him to pit with probably the people in front of him here whenever they decide to pit, as he's probably a good, I'd say, 4 laps or more less fuel than them at the moment here. But these cars should be able to go about, I think, 45 laps on a tank of gas, if I remember correctly. Or it's in the 40 lap range, a little over 40.
Yeah, I believe that is about 40 to 45 laps on the tank of fuel. So, you know, these guys that did not pit, I believe I counted about 7 or 8 of them haven't pit yet. So we're going to look forward to seeing them coming down pit road probably here in the next 10 laps.
Yeah, and then we got a couple other people that are probably able to go to about lap 50 or so here. So, going to be on a little bit different of a pitch strategy. I'm not sure how it's going to play out for them, but it's really going to depend on how well they can work together with this draft. Once the 7 that didn't pit do go in here.
Yeah, so it looks like let's see, your top 5, and then Patrick Millett and Cody Benelli in 8th and 9th, and then you got Troy Thomas all the way back in 15th, who hasn't pit yet, and Robert Morris in that 21 machine. So we've got drivers all spread out through this field that still need to come down for their very first pit stop. So, you know, that top 5 definitely has an advantage here, you know, because all 5 of those drivers are all together. Cody Benelli and Patrick Millett, they'll be able to jump on, you know, to the top 5 there. But those 2 further in the back, it's going to be a lot harder for those guys to attack on.
Yeah, and the good thing about a couple of these guys having a little bit more fuel is whenever that first pit cycle starts with a lot of these guys, if there is an incident, they will be able to stay out on the track if a caution is brought out here. But, I mean, some of these guys that didn't pit, that have been running in the draft the whole time and saving, might be decently okay. I mean, they're still going to be a little shorter than the other guys, but they'll be able to run a lot longer than, for instance, Millett, who's been leading the whole race. Speaking of leading the whole race, David Davis getting some laps to the lead here now, so that's a bonus point for him for leading a lap.
Yeah, for sure. You know, these guys, they do get bonus points, if I'm not mistaken, for getting the pole, leading a lap, leading the most laps, and I believe getting the fastest lap. So as of right now, let's take a look here. As of right now, it's Robert Morris with a 46.15 back in that 22nd spot. He currently has the fastest lap of the race.
I'm gonna say once we get closer to go time, that I don't know if that lap's gonna stand, but we'll have to see here as you know, everything's still pretty calm here for the most part. I mean, the hardest pushing we're seeing is between David Davis and Truth Hoke up here. Truth Hoke kind of giving them some pretty good pushes on the inside lane, and this field is really spreading out.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Your top 3 actually starting to pull away just a tad here from Aaron Roth and Brandon Puffenbarger. Those guys might want to suck back up to them, because when it comes down to getting these pit stops done, they definitely want to make sure that everybody is on the same page.
I was watching about that 10th to 11th spot as Timothy Osborne dropped back quite a bit off of Steve Sizemore, but starting to gain back now as he's getting a little bit of help from behind with Dana Ryan in that 49 machine. Kind of weird seeing Dana in the 49 machine. I'm used to seeing him in the 1 machine, but
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, Dana Ryan, you know, he's been biding his time, you know, this whole entire time we see him on track. He doesn't try to push anybody very far. He minds his P's and Q's, you know, so it's very nice to see Dana Ryan, you know, he takes his time. And he's definitely one fast driver for sure. Always one that you want to keep your eye on.
That is very true, but I will say once it comes to about 1.5 miles and stuff like that, we will start to see a little bit different side of these guys here. I mean, next week, technically, I believe we're going to Atlanta. Let me go double check the schedule. I'm thinking of actual NASCAR here, so double check the schedule before I cash my ticket into being wrong here. Yeah, we're going to Atlanta Echo Park next week, which is another kind of super speedway-esque track. So it's gonna be kind of the same thing as this week, but probably a little bit more side-by-side action there. But coming to March 8th, after we have an off week, we're going to Phoenix, and then we're going to Vegas after that, Darlington, Martinsville, and then we're going to see a different side of these guys here, as we'll be out of the super speedway style of racing.
Yeah, let me see if I actually have. You know what? We'll do it this way.
I am getting word we are getting a couple pitters here. I believe the 21 and the 42 coming down the pits this time. 38 coming down as well. Seeing them stick their hand out the window coming down the backstretch here this time. So I'll try to keep a check and see how good of a pit stop they're able to get here. So I'm around on board with the 38 of Patrick Millett, as he is the farthest up front of the few I've seen that was pitting. And holy...
Slow it down, guys. Slow it down.
Cody Benelli coming in hot and heavy. I believe he was able to get in without getting a black flag there, so able to gain a spot possibly. We'll have to see on the race off of pit road here.
There we go.
David Davis getting ready to come down this lap as well, and watching the race off of pit road, it looks like Cody Benelli was able to pick up a spot on Patrick Millett here, so going to be leading this 2-car group. It looks like the other guys that pit were not able to keep up with them too, so going to have a little bit of a rough road ahead of them here, but the main pack is coming up quickly on Cody Benelli and Patrick Millett here, so they're going to have to try to draft as hard as they can to get away from this field. David Davis not even 3 seconds behind him probably, but he is coming down to pits this time.
He's coming down solo. That's not good for David Davis at all.
Yeah, but Truth Hoke going to be taking over and leading the lap here, so extra bonus points for Truth Hoke.
Yeah, for sure.
And speaking of Truth Hoke, I believe he's going to be pitting this lap. The 50 is going to be pitting this lap at Terry Fennell. We're going to have Aaron Roth potentially coming down as well. I think the 88 is going to be coming down as well. I'm trying to keep a check on them sticking their hands out the window. A little hard to see from up here in the booth, but just... You see Kirby Wainscott going to that outside line. No plans to pit this time. By around weren't following him up there. It looks like the 36 and a whole steam of other cars coming. As this is going to be the biggest pack we've had pit so far. Oh, we almost have issues. Someone missing the pit line.
Yeah, one car totally missing it. That's going to be the 57 of Aaron Roth. So he's going to unfortunately have a penalty for a unsafe pit entry, possibly.
But otherwise, everyone able to get into their pit stalls and probably going to be coming out around the same time, but it's going to really hurt Aaron there in that 57 machine.
All right, so far as of right now, I don't see a penalty showing up for him on screen, so he might be clear. No, he is still down on pit road, so he will continue to serve out that penalty. I believe that
Here
is
comes your leader.
I believe that is a 40-second hold for unsafe pit entry.
That's very unfortunate for him. But our leader, Kirby Wainscott, coming up on the back of Cody Benelli and Patrick Nolet, who had led most of this race, currently in 20th position. Kind of the downfall of him is going to be, not being able to pit with everyone else here. But they will get their lap back once everyone else pits.
Yeah,
if they do get past.
I currently like their strategy. They are actually staying up in front of your race leaders. So with them staying up front, they're going to stay here on the lead lap for the moment. So this is definitely really good, smart racing by those two drivers back there to, keep themselves on that lead lap.
Yeah, I also got, I believe, Terry Fennell and Dana Ryan up there as well. Troy Thomas in that 88 machine, all battling to stay on the lead lap. Kirby Wainscott being your leader in that 10 car in this mess of lap cars here. So if a caution was to come out right now, there'd be a couple cars stuck a lap down, but I mean, they still need to pit, and it's going to be very hard for them to do so without being able to get to the bottom here.
Yeah.
These lap cars definitely not going to make it easy for them as they're wanting to, make it as difficult and as possible so they can gain as much time as they possibly can.
Yeah, these front runners, they all pitted back on lap 11 of the race, so their window is going to be opening here in the next maybe 5 to 10 laps now. So your current top drivers here all the way back to Brian LaPratte in 10th place. Those guys are all looking to come down pit road, like I said, probably here within the next 10 laps or so. Ryan Warpin, that number 45, he is your current race leader. As Kirby and Wainscott in that 10, they had to fall back because everybody abandoned them on the outside. So now Ryan Warp, he will get a lap here, or a bonus point for leading a lap.
And I will be right back, sir.
Alrighty. Again, that was a very good, smart move there by Cody Benelli, Patrick Millett, Terry Fennell, and Dana Ryan. By keeping those leaders behind them, that's going to keep them here on the lead lap in case something were to happen. So, definitely a very smart move by using other lap down cars as picks. So, that was definitely very smart there as we come to start lap 50. We are closing in on the halfway point in about 10 laps. So these drivers definitely doing a phenomenal job keeping their heads clear, running single file for the moment. You really can't ask for better smart racing here, as we still got more than halfway to go. As we ride on board here with Stephen Luttrell in that number 36 machine for 8K Motorsports. Currently running second. everything's kind of pretty much quieted down here at Daytona. Not much is going on. So we're going to step away here for a very brief commercial break. Oh, actually, you know what? While we are actually settled down here, let's go and take a quick look here at your schedule for this upcoming season. Next week, we will head over to Echo Park Speedway. And then we'll have 1 week off instead of running COTA. And then we'll come back March 6th to run Phoenix, Las Vegas. And then we'll come back and round out March over at Darlington and Martinsville. So a lot of great racing coming up here. Sunday mornings, 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Definitely a really good time here. So we are pretty much mimicking the real world schedule. We're not racing too many of the road courses, so we are taking those weeks off. As we are coming, we've got a big group coming down pit road. Whoa it down, whoa it down. Oh, I think a couple of them got caught possibly for speeding there. Yeah, your top three did, of Ryan Warp, Stephen Luttrell, and Rowan Lloyd. They will all get hit for speeding on entry onto pit road. Now, unfortunately, that's going to be a 40-second hold for those drivers. Not what those drivers wanted, but your top 10 will now go ahead and come on down to pit. And that should bring Steve Sizemore in that 08 machine out front as your race leader. So you can see this group here currently running single file here, as they are trying to catch up to those cars that are coming up to full speed. He's looking for Kirby Wainscott. Now they're passing Alex Teft. Yep, there's Dennis Kane and Kirby Wainscott. So these guys are going to be coming at a full head of steam here out of turn number 4, and that's going to bring Steve Sizemore out front, and he will lead a lap to get a bonus points here at Daytona. As we saw there, Adam Squires now getting up to full speed. And now we've got side-by-side action going on here. I'm glad I didn't step away for a quick commercial break, because let me tell you what, we got some amazing racing going on right now. As you see that number 19 Cody Benelli trying to work the outside lanes to get them moving, but they're not having any luck pulling themselves forward just yet. Benelli get a little bit squirrely after getting that push there from Alex Teft in that number 40. I'm sorry, in that number 38 machine. That's Patrick Millett. He got Cody Benelli a little sideways in the tribal. Now they're going to have another car jump to the outside and see if they can help that outside lane start moving. So far, nothing here going. It looks like Timothy Eisburn, he's going to jump up here to help with that draft, as they are working around that lap down car of... I'm not even sure who that is. Yeah, that's the 54 of Chris Lawrence. Chris Lawrence struggling a little bit here at Daytona, but we've still got a very long way to go for this season, so don't give it up just yet. As of right now, Steve Sizemore, Brandon Puffenbarger will lead your field here through turns 3 and 4. And that outside lane of Cody Benelli, he's finally able to start making his way through the field here, as he is working on the outside of Kirby Wayne Scott. Now he's running side by side with that number. Is that? Is that Roth? Yeah, Aaron Roth. In that number 57 machine right there. He's currently 1 lap down after getting caught up in speeding on entry. So we have a mixture of lap down cars and your lead lap cars now. And Patrick Millett, he's still working hard on that back bumper of Cody Benelli to start getting him to move forward. They have lost just a couple of spots here, falling back behind Kirby Wayne Scott. And now they have a little bit of clearance on that inside lane if they wish to take it. But they're going to stick to their guns and stay to the outside, as we do have 1 car coming back down to leave 3 cars to that outside lane. And that's going to be Cody Benelli, the 38 of Patrick Millett, the 50 of Terry Fennell. And just those 3 cars on the outside will not make that outside lane work. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these drivers will play it out.
All right, I have returned. Did the lead group of cars pit already? I assume so, because
Yes.
they dropped down a few positions.
Yes, they did.
All right, looking at the YouTube chat, we got a Let's Go Round Warp from Mr. Steve. Appreciate you for stopping by here.
Yeah, so we had a couple drivers have issues down on pit road. Aaron Roth, Rowan Lloyd, Jonathan Stidham, they all got caught speeding down on pit road.
As unfortunate as they're going to have to really hope for a caution to potentially even get back on the lead lap here. It's been some pretty clean racing so far throughout this thing, so I'm not really expecting one anytime soon. And with there being multiple cars a lap down, they're going to need at least 3 or 4 cautions here.
Yeah, absolutely. As we have 250 miles left here at Daytona, meaning we got 100 laps left, and things are starting to get intense up here as Steve Sizemore, he's trying to control both lanes, as you see that outside lane finally catching up to the race leader. But it looks like Sizemore, he's going to play that game of keep everybody behind him, as he's trying to control both lanes here, and he's doing a fantastic job at it at the moment. You know, there's not many people here on iRacing that can control both lanes, you know, the way that we have seen it here. And, you know, it's actually pretty cool to see that, you know, us, you know, non-professional drivers know how to, you know, rock it around Daytona, controlling both lanes. But right now, Cody Benelli, Patrick Millett, they're going to overtake for the race lead. And thought they were going to try to come down. There goes Benelli. He's going to come down as Sizemore was looking to go around his outside. So he's going to come down, and they're going to use the draft off of Steven Luttrell and Ryan Warp, as they will go ahead and take it to the outside. And they will go ahead and bring themselves 1 lap down.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good push coming from the outside lane there to get Cody Benelli up to the front. Cody going back to the outside, kind of surprised he did that, but potentially trying to get them other guys back up there toward the front with them, as they did kind of fall back a little bit there.
Yeah, for sure. Cody Benelli going back and picking up that 38 of Patrick Millett. He says, no, sir, you're going to come up here to the front with me. You know, so they've already played all this game, you know, coming from, you know, 4 or 5 cars back all the way up there to your race lead. So they know they can get the job done, but this time they gotta try to make it so that they both clear the race leader. So that's how they're gonna have to play it, as they are coming up on Frank Chavez in that Raptor Chevrolet to put him one lap down.
Yeah, and the pit cycles really make or break your run here, and just
Yeah.
unfortunately, a couple guys breaking their run, and you're gonna have to pray for a caution here. That's gonna be, I believe, about 9 cars to lap down here at the moment.
Yes, I believe so. 8 cars. 8 cars are a lap down. And Chantel, since she's up in race control. You know, I want to give a big shout out to Chantel Pottle for race control with, you know, she does a very phenomenal job, you know, and it's a hard job, you know, calling out, you know, making sure that you get the right person for causing a wreck. You know, sometimes it's clear as day. But there are other times where it's like, oh man, I don't know, you know, whose fault it is. So I definitely give Chantel big props up in race control.
Yeah, race control's got to make the hard decisions here, and not everyone's always happy with it. But at the end of the day, what race control says it goes, and they go in and look at every single point of view. They look from cockpit, they look from different angles, and try to get the full story. You know, on the broadcast, we kind of maybe look at 1 or 2 angles, and that's it. But sometimes they see stuff that we don't.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we kind of, you know, say, you know, who's at fault, you know, in these incidents, you know, and then sometimes, you know, Chantel, she'll come back and say, well, you know, it was actually, you know, this person. And, you know, Dakota, you and I are like, wait, what? And then we go back and we look and we're like, ah, so that's what she saw versus, you know, what we saw. So, you know, I love doing that, you know, going back saying, okay, wait a second, ours didn't match up. What is it that you see that I don't? But right now, Cody Benelli's starting to fall back to that 6th spot on that outside lane. So those 4 cars are not... Oh, hold on to it, Benelli. Patrick Millett is all over the back bumper of Cody Benelli at the moment.
Pushing really hard trying to get that outside line going. Just unfortunately, with only 3 to 4 cars up there, it's really not going to be able to get going. So they might need to try to drop down to the inside at their earliest convenience here, unless they can get some more help. But I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's just kind of content riding around at the moment until we get a little farther into this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, time is ticking by, and, you know, we're coming up now on the halfway point in just about 12 laps. So, you know, it's been nice and calm right now, but something tells me the final 80 laps are going to be absolutely crazy. But man, Steve Sizemore, he's doing a phenomenal job here today, keeping the that race lead. He has led a total of 14 laps so far today. And he's got Brandon Puffenbarger in that 5 right behind him. You know, he's doing a pretty good job, you know, minding his P's and Q's as well.
Well, right now our biggest mover, Timothy Osborne, up 22 spots, currently P3. I mean, doing a phenomenal job. Normally by this point he's done been involved in some sort of a caution at some point. And no shade thrown his direction there, I promise. Just untimely luck in most cases.
Yeah, Timothy Osborne in that Shayco LLC Chevrolet. You know, he's really needing to catch a break, and you know, it's really nice to see him up here currently running in that 3rd spot. You know, again, he's the biggest mover of the race so far, up 22 spots. And, as of right now, he's just sitting there chilling out, relaxing. He's doing a really good job right now. And, I'm glad to see him doing absolutely phenomenal in that number 92 Shaco LLC. As we got a big wobble out of, I believe that was Alex Teft heading up here into turn 3. I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. We're going to come back and let's see what happened. Oh no, that wasn't Alex Teft. That was a lap down the 51 machine, or the 61 machine. It was somebody. They got all squirrely back here.
I believe that's the 61 of Roland Lloyd. It looked like he had a little bit of help there. The 4 machine of Dennis Kane coming up the track just ever so slightly and making a little bit of contact with him there.
Yeah, definitely really good quick hands there, trying to make it all work. And why didn't y'all tell me I was still showing the best time and not the gap? All right, well, we're now pretty much, once again, here single file all the way throughout the field, except those 3 cars trying to make something, 2 cars trying to make something of it, 3 cars trying to make something of it on the outside. Let's go ahead and jump back here. Let's see who that is. Starts off there with Rowan Lloyd in that number 61 machine. He's trying to make some progress. And he's got some help from that number 4 machine of Dennis Kane right behind him. I don't know if you've been noticing it too, Dakota, or not, but I feel like those cars are starting to get a little bit tight coming out of turn 2, as I've seen a few drivers kind of slip up the last 3, maybe 4 laps now.
Yeah, I've noticed, I agree with you, a little bit of slipping going on here, but maybe getting a little bit more racy, a little bit more aggressive with these pushes. As we are almost halfway through this race, and maybe you kind of getting a little antsy, a little bored, trying to make a little bit of fun out of it.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of these drivers last pitted back on lap 44, so we're looking at probably just about lap 88 for these drivers to start making their way back down pit road. And then we're looking at probably about lap 98 for the rest of the field to come back down. So it's going to be very interesting to see, how this all will play out as we're getting ready to circle around to our second green flag pit stops here in just about 15 laps or so. That outside lane is really trying to get moving. And they've slowly made their way up to that 5th car on the inside. Now that 4th car on the inside. Those 3 cars are really chugging along, Dakota. Something that we haven't seen all day.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're chugging that good on the outside there, especially with only about 3 cars at the moment. If they got a little bit more help, they could really get up here a lot quicker and contend for the race lead here at the moment.
Yeah, Dennis Kane and that number 4 machine, he's pulling that group towards the front. Now they've got help from that 36 machine of Stephen Luttrell. So now we've got 4 cars on the outside. And now they're going to start making their way up, trying to get up beside Timothy Eisburn in that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Sizemore and Puffenbarger, though, drafting really well with each other, actually pulling away from Timothy Osborne on that inside lane at the moment. So if Timothy was to get up there a little closer to them, they could potentially pull away from the south side line. But with such a gap between, third place and even fourth place here, it's kind of costing the inside line a lot of momentum.
Yeah, definitely for sure.
But now we're starting to get a little bit more into the side-by-side action as these guys just kind of been on cruise control for the first half of this race here. And, a lot of people might think it's a little boring, but at the end of the day, it's a very smart move, when especially racing super speedways.
Yeah.
It's better to keep your car clean.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, at super speedways, if you crash early, you're going to pretty much be done for. And that's something that, some of these drivers have noticed, and experienced, within the first 11 laps of this race. Andrew Teft, he was caught up in the big one on lap 11, or I think it was like lap 8 or 9, or 9 or 10 or something like that. But he's currently sitting back, no, he's actually out of the race at the moment, actually. So Andrew
I
Teft
believe
in
he
that.
got a little bit of connectivity issues not long after that initial wreck there, as he kind of tried to hop back in the car a couple of times, and race control forcing him to go to the garage and get that car looked at, and unfortunately out of the race for the day.
Yeah, definitely not the way Andrew Teft wanted to start out the season, as he will be sitting 26th in the standings. But we still got a very long way to go, all the way to November, for him to make his way back up through the field. And next week we're heading to Echo Park, which is, once again, another super speedway style race. So, with us knowing how well he is at those tracks, or these kind of tracks, I should say, we're looking forward to him, kicking butt next week when we head over to Georgia.
Oh yeah, but it's still another super speedway style track, and I'm gonna be, between doing the super speedway series and all that, I'm kind of gonna be excited to see some other style tracks not long after Atlanta here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a very long couple of, 2 months. Yeah, it's been a very long 2 months, here on iRacing, with a lot of people preparing for not only, the Daytona 500, but also we just ran the Rolex 24 at the end of last month, and it's Daytona week this week, and all of our leagues were pretty much switching over to new seasons, and so they were all racing super speedway style races. So it's definitely going to be nice to head over to Phoenix here in a couple weeks. And that's coming from the guys that agreed to do a super speedway series on Friday nights. But ladies and gentlemen, while we are watching this group start making their way back up towards the front, man, Dennis Kane, he's an absolute beast out front, getting that really good push there by, I'm sorry, the 40, the 4 is being a beast, pushing
that 31 machine.
the 31, yeah. The 31, isn't he a lap down?
Yes, he is. But it's helping that forward car get up to the lead here. I believe the 31's a lap down. I'm not seeing a 31 on my thing, so let me get a check here.
Yeah, so Dennis Kane, he will get his first bonus point for leading a lap. And right in front of...
Oh, that is the
61, Rowan Lloyd. Yeah.
There we go. It looks like a 31, but that is a 61, sir.
Yeah.
So, Rowan Lloyd getting back on the lead lap the old-fashioned way, being pushed by Dennis Kane here. I mean, that's going to be great for him if there's a caution. He's not going to have to take a look at that.
Yeah, definitely. And, real quick, after today, ladies and gentlemen, we are back in full swing for the Racers Elite Network. Tuesday Night Truck Series will make their first race Tuesday night over in Las Vegas. On Wednesday night, the still showing Xfinity Series, but the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series will head over to Nashville Super Speedway, and the Gen 4s will take over Thursday nights, and they're going to have their first race at Auto Club on Thursday. So we definitely got...
Hey, not to cut you off here, but I'm seeing some hands out the window, and we're about to have some more people coming down the pit road here. I believe the 92, possibly the 57, come down to pits this time.
Alrighty, well that sounds like a good plan there. We will see some drivers start making their way down pit road. Let's get these cars wound up. Oh no!
Green and Pufferberg coming in hot and heavy, possibly getting a black flag there, as he looked very fast when he hit the line.
Yes, Puffenberger, he will get a black flag for speeding on pit road. Definitely not what he needed. As we will come back up here and catch up with our race leaders. David Davis in that 777 back out front, contending for the race lead with Dennis Kane. As they will now circle around 3 and 4. As the drivers are just now coming out of the pits.
Yeah, and I believe we only have about one more green flag pit stop after this pit cycle, and they should be able to make it all the way to the end here. As if they pit around lap 120, they should have plenty of fuel to make it to the end.
Oh yeah, and definitely these drivers will definitely make it to lap 120 for sure. Really great racing going on right now as you see your race leaders catching up to those drivers that just came down pit road. And your front three there that they're getting ready to put a lap down is Cody Benelli, Dana Ryan, and Stephen Luttrell. So those drivers will now go one lap down to your race leader of Dennis Kane in that number 4 machine. Now we will
imagine getting lapped by the lap car, sir.
Yeah, right.
I believe we had Andrew Teft up here in the booth. How you doing today, Andrew?
Hey fellas, fresh out of the infield care center.
Man, walk us through what happened there.
Yeah, I was probably a little bit early for that move. I was leading the top there, and Adam kind of pulled up in front of the line, but he was, I don't know, substantially slower, and he kind of drifted high for a moment. So I tried to sneak to the middle, and I guess he tried to defend a little bit late, and I was already there. That's how I felt anyway.
Andrew, let me tell you something, bud. That was the incorrect answer. The correct answer was I was flying around Daytona like a bald eagle. I zigged instead of zagged and bam, blew the front end off my hot rod.
Yeah, I need some of that Cletus spunk, or whatever you call it.
You need to get that Cletus McFarland BDE. There we go.
I mean, even though you are DNFing here at Daytona, we still got a very long season to go. What's your game plan now heading into next week, which is another Super Style Speedway race?
Yeah, just gonna jump right back out there. We've got Atlanta next week, so another one of these, but it's plate tracks, but it's a long season and just part of plate racing.
And the 777 and David Davis pitting by himself here at the moment. That's going to put him in a little bit of a bind. Sorry to cut y'all off. But Dennis Kane taking over the lead again. So you joining us up here in the booth for the race, sir?
I just figured I'd pop in for a few minutes, seeing I don't have anything to do at the moment.
Fair enough. Are you looking forward to the 500? You got your pick for today?
Well, I'm a Brad fan, so always rooting for him, but yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
I wouldn't mind to see Brad get a race win. Honestly, it's been a little bit. He kind of, a couple times he's been close to getting it and kind of, I felt like been cheated out of it, but I wouldn't mind seeing him get a win.
I'll have to agree with that. And I'm not a big Kyle Busch fan either, but with him starting on the pole, I wouldn't be I wouldn't be upset, if Kyle were to actually be able to win a race. I mean, I think it's been what, 2 years since he's last won.
Yeah, since he
So
left Toyota, I don't think he's been able to really finish very great. But the RCR camp's looking pretty strong this season.
yeah,
I
for
believe he's
sure.
on RCR, right?
Yep. Yeah, he actually won 2 races the first season for RCR. So, but ever since then, he's kind of died out the last 2 years. So, definitely very interested in seeing what Kyle can do this season. Brad Keselowski, he's definitely long overdue. He's come so close so many times, but he just can't seem to get that number 6 machine into victory lane. So, hopefully, that can change this season.
Yeah, but back to the race at hand here. Dennis Kane still leading, using these lap cars to save a little bit of fuel here. Honestly, not a bad strategy, as he's going to put about another 3 or 4 cars a lap down here. And I mean, if a untimely caution was to fly during one of these green flag pit stops, half the field could potentially end up trapped a lap down.
Yeah, definitely. As he is now going to ride right behind, I believe that's Patrick Millett right in front of him in that prime number 38 machine. He's doing a really good job at, minding his P's and Q's. Now he's going to save the fuel. What have you thought about this race so far, Andrew?
Yeah, kind of trying to catch up to speed on strategy here. See my chicken coop teammates out front, top 3. They've got about a 45-second gap back to Steve Sizemore in that next group. I like where they are right now, because even though they're a little off strategy, just the 3 of them, they've got this huge pack to work with, and
Yep.
I think they're actually pulling away from that second pack that's already come into pit.
Yep. So, Steve Sizemore, 4th place. He is currently sitting about 10 cars in front of your race leader.
Yeah, I still
I think
think he has to pit, don't he? Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it's okay. I think these top 3 are going to be able to pit and still maybe even hold on to the lead if they can keep increasing this gap.
Yeah.
Feels like you could probably go down pit road and get back up to speed within about 45 seconds or so, and that's their gap right now.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see what these drivers, these top 3 drivers here can do. And, Dakota and I were also talking earlier, it's not very often that we see you and Alex both share the racetrack. What kind of competition do you guys have on the track when you're together? Do you guys give yourself a little bit of extra leeway with each other, or is it competition 100%?
Oh yeah, we're always battling. We try to use common sense around each other and not put each other in too stupid of spots, but we can count on each other to race each other cleanly. If it just so happens that one of us doors the other, kind of, take the gloves off at that point. But I used to work with them a lot more at plate tracks, but recently we're usually just in different parts of the pack.
Well, the real question is, how many times have y'all put each other in the wall?
Surprisingly, not that much. And it's one of those deals where if it does happen, I know it's not intentional, just freak accident once in a while. But yeah, surprisingly, I mean, as much as we race together, I think I've got like 500 starts in Racers Elite. I'd have to really think about a time.
It's a very fair point. I mean, if it was my brother, I'd put him in the wall just to put him in the wall. But, a little bit different love-hate relationship probably between
Yeah, there's always that.
him and y'all two.
Always that little extra motivation when it's him I'm trying to run down. I'm sure it's the same the other way around.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely when it's your family, you guys are always constantly trying to bring out the best out of each other, and You know, that's one of the biggest things I love about being able to race with family. You know, hey, you know, I'm better than you. All right, hold my beer. Let me find out who is really better. But I mean,
So, oh,
on race day, it you can't go wrong with either Teft. I'm just saying.
Well, thank you. Um, how many more laps do you think these guys can do? These chicken coop racers. I suppose I could jump down in their chat and ask them, but
They can probably go maybe another 5 laps because they
I went
last pitted.
downstairs for a little bit, so I didn't see their last pit stop.
Yep.
yeah, I'd say about within the next 10 laps they should have to pit here, but it's really going to depend because they've been able to save quite a bit of fuel being behind these lap cars, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, they
It
last.
sounds like 36 is coming down the pit road this time, Stephen Luttrell, so probably not too much longer.
43 is coming in also. 45. This is a small group. 5 of them.
Yeah, it's like Kirby Wainscott coming as well. So all your top 3 coming down the pits right now. With a little bit of help with the lap cars as well. That is definitely going to help them coming off of pit road and getting back up to race pace here.
Yeah, when you're in that small of a group, you're really hoping that nobody gets a penalty in the process because you need every car to make the speed to compete with a pack of this size.
That is very true, and we've seen quite a lot of race-ending speeding down pit road moments today. I believe Ryan Wart being one completely missed the entry to pit road, got into the grass a little bit, or maybe that was Aaron Roth in that 57 machine. Actually,
Yeah, that was
no,
Aaron
Ryan
Ruff.
Wart.
Yeah.
Let's see where they come back out here.
Ryan Warp electing to fall back behind Alex on the exit here.
Says he's got a penalty. I'm not sure if that was for speeding.
And Kirby Wainscott getting off the pit a little better than Dennis Kane and Alex Steft here. So he's going to have to kind of check it up a little bit to allow them to catch up to him so they can keep up their momentum here. Steve Sizemore only about 3 seconds back and closing in very quickly here. And we might see an interesting, a little bit of a battle for the lead, possibly.
Almost up to speed here. They need to get a little bit tighter, though. Kirby sitting about 185, so they should be able to hold on to the lead here.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with just these 4 cars, you know, they're going to be gained on pretty quick here by that pack behind them. But I mean, with them being able to be up to full speed and almost going just about the same speed, I think there's not much to worry about, you know, if they were to start getting lapped.
They're actually starting to pull away a little bit from Steve Sizemore as they did open that gap up a little more, but Steve Sizemore starting to close back in. I will say Alex Teth having a little bit of issue getting up to the back bumper of Dennis Kane in the 4 machine as he does have a little bit of damage to the front end of his car, I just noticed.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, he actually has quite a bit of right front damage there. It's probably affecting his air a little bit, but he is able to finally get it to the back bumper at Dennis Kane. So we got a 4-car breakaway for the lead here, but Steve Sizemore, who was losing a little bit to the leaders, finally closing back in down to a 1.7 gap at that 4th place spot.
Oh, yeah, I guess we're right on board with Dennis Kane. You can see that damage right there on the right-hand side of the bumper there, yeah.
I think he got a little piece of that accident that I was in earlier, and they just haven't had a chance to come back in and do more repairs.
Well, to have a little bit of aero damage to be able to keep up with the leaders here, doing a phenomenal job. I mean, that's a lot of people can't do that. You get a little bit of damage and they instantly lose the draft.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you see a group of 3 or 4 cars like this that can actually pull away from a pack. They're just really fast and efficient. I don't see those guys closing in very much.
No, the gaps only went down about 0.1 in the last lap. So, I mean, they are closing in, but very slowly here. I don't really see them getting much of a big run to get around them on the outside here, maybe unless they can start getting a little bit of draft from Alex Deft.
Yeah, the next gen car doesn't make a huge wake. It's like you got to be within a half second or so to really hang on to their draft. And second pack's about 1.7 back at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Getting side by side up front though, so that's gonna really help this other pack close in.
Yeah, Kirby Wainscott dropping back, maybe got a little hot there. We're going to let Dennis Kane try to push, but yeah, like you said, that is going to allow for the second pack to get caught up to him. I will say with this next gen car, you really have to have a good 3 to 4 cars in a pack to even be able to draft to maintain a good speed. I don't know what it is with the aero package on this car, but 2 cars is just absolute garbage most of the time. Or,
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm glad that it is, simply because, you know, back in the days of when we were doing that tandem drafting, that just was no fun. You know, okay, cool. So you locked up with your teammate and you guys are gone. I personally, I didn't enjoy that style of racing.
hey, I mean, if you can lock up one other person and pull away from the field, I mean, that means you got a fast car, in my opinion.
Well, that pack has finally caught up to your race leaders, and now we are back to one pack here, single file ish.
At least through the top 11 drivers here. We do have another pack about 16 seconds back being led by the 101 machine of Brian LaPratt here.
But he's still gonna need at least one more stop to make it to the end here.
Yep. All the drivers, they can make it to lap 120. So once they hit 120, they are all golden to make it to the end. So if they can reach, you know, lap 125 to lap 130, and then, you know, make sure they have just enough fuel for that Green-White-Checkered if we need it, everybody is going to be really golden for the end of this race.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Steve Sizemore, it looks like Osborne not really able to get to his back bumper here, potentially saving a little bit of fuel, and that did kind of kill that run they had to potentially take over the race lead. But yeah, you got to pit about lap 120, but with the top 3 being on a little bit different pit cycle, if they're able to do like they did last time, they're going to be sitting in a really good spot for the finish of this race.
Yeah. This has definitely been some of the most cleanest racing I have seen in a very long time.
Nah, we have clean racing every week. What do you mean, sir?
Well, I mean, they're
I'd say it's
usually
the most patient.
yeah, that'll probably be the best word for it. Most patient that we've seen in a long time.
Is the 45 machine going a lap down again? Ryan Warp just not having a great day today.
Yeah, Ryan Warp, you know, he's now down 3 laps. You know, you give him time. I think he'll be able to turn his season around.
Yeah, and that 36 machine is Stephen Luttrell doing a pretty good job of staying up here to keep his lap. So if a caution does end up flying, he's not going to have to take a lucky dog and start in the back.
Yeah.
But absolute phenomenal job out of him. Dennis Kane taking that to his advantage to save a little bit of fuel as well. So it is going to help these top 3 cars kind of all be able to pit around the same time and not have to go in a little sooner.
So Andrew, throughout this season, who are you going to keep your eye on? That's going to be the guy that's going to be probably the hardest guy to beat for the championship, minus yourself.
A tough question. Puffenbarger is always strong. I don't know if he's going to compete full time. Some of these guys are on like a part-time status, but if he runs enough races to compete for the championship, he'll be tough. Who else is here? Truth's good everywhere. Cody Benelli has been really strong lately. My brother Alex, of course. Kirby is probably best in the next gen cars out of all the cars that we race. There'd probably be a toss up like many of our series. Like our Xfinity Championship came down to 1 point last season.
Yeah.
Sean Dunaway was the champion. The two Tuesday Truck Series had 5 guys in contention for the title of the final race, so that was exciting. But every championship battle we had this season, there was multiple possible winners at the end.
Yeah, for sure. And talk about the Truck Series, we will be heading to Las Vegas to Tuesday night, as those drivers will take to that 1.5 mile speedway over in Sin City. Are you going to be joining me up in the booth again this upcoming season, or are you going to go tackle another championship?
Yeah, gonna hang out with you for another season in the booth. I was planning on returning if Blair won the championship, because then he'd have 3 and I have 3, and gotta have the most, you know. So I was gonna hop back out there and try to earn another one, but Sean Dunaway actually wound up with the title, so my record's still safe. I can continue helping out in the booth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sean Dunaway winning 2 championships last season. Double champ does what he wants. The cats, distracting him the whole time, just seemed to pay off. That Hello Kitty powered, yeah, machine.
Yeah, he's definitely pretty fast in that 0-1, and I'm always excited to see what Sean can do, because he's pretty quick in everything that I've seen him in. So really excited to see what this upcoming season brings. And one driver that I was talking about early on was Dana Ryan in that number 49 machine. He seems pretty fast, and what do you think about him, possibly being one of the guys running for the championship?
Yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Dana yet, but he's been racing a lot more, so should have a better answer for you soon. I've seen him in some of our Friday races, and I believe he's signed up for a couple more of the weekday ones, so we'll know soon.
Yeah, definitely.
So is the Truck Series full?
Yeah, there could be a seat or 2, but yeah, very, very, very full. It's definitely our most popular series on Tuesdays.
Thinking about signing up for it, because I don't think I broadcast on Tuesday, so
We'll do it.
Yeah, we got room for you.
I have to see here. Might sign up for it, race me some trucks this season, so I can get out here and butt elbows with a few of these guys.
Well, we won't be talking about Dakota very often, but you know what? When it does, he'll be the king of chaos as usual. So,
Hey, if I'm not in the wall before the end of the race and being talked about, something's wrong. All right. You gotta get my TV time.
heck yeah. Out front, Dennis Kane continues to lead this field down the back straightaway. Kirby Wainscott currently hanging on to that second spot. Alex Teft in the third spot. Steve Sizemore, once they got caught up to those 3, he has not been able to make any moves, so he's going to currently stay back in that 4th spot. Timothy Eisburn will round out your top 5. Let me tell you what, Eisburn, he's been having one heck of a day so far here at Daytona. It's not... we always see Timothy up here up front, but then usually near the end of these races, something always happens to him. So, he's looking to start off this season with a very good, strong finish here.
Yeah, and we're coming up on the final pit stop here, about 8 laps shy of the final pit window. They probably could potentially pit sooner than that and be able to make it, but I'd say a good safe spot's around lap 120 without having to really save anything here.
Really like the spot that these chicken coop teammates are in, because they're going to need less fuel than these other guys. They've already got the lead position. I think their stops will be shorter, and they'll be able to maintain that lead, maybe even build a gap on this other group.
That is very true, but after the final pit stop, I'm anticipating people are going to be pushing just slightly harder here. We're going to start seeing a little bit more aggression. I'm trying to get it to the lead. Only going to be 40 laps to go once we hit that pit window.
I'm wondering if they'll still go long also, because this track is so large, it's almost like a road course where if you pit now and the yellow comes out, you might be able to stay on the lead lap and then be able to stay out during the yellow and just keep the lead. So I like to pit sort of as early as I can at the end of these. That way I can stay out and get some track position. These guys could potentially go a lot longer than that second group, but will they?
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a really good question. I mean, it see that's a good question. Because I mean, like,
If you just take 2 tires too, that stop will be even shorter, and you're more likely to stay on the lead lap.
right.
Yeah, and then on the flip side of that, I mean, if they do stay out and a caution comes out, if they have enough fuel to run, maybe 10 more laps or something, then it can anticipate another caution. They could trap a lot of the field a lap down and not really have to worry about too much whenever they do come down the pits if there is another caution. But there's the flip side of that as well, as if they do end up having to pit, no one else does.
Got to keep in mind the Green-White-Checkers also, because there's up to 3 of those. That could add another 9-10 laps to the race potentially if we used all of them. So they're pretty long laps, 2.5 miles each, so it's tough to see.
It's true. Plus, you got to include the pace laps in there as well. Don't typically take a lot of fuel, but I mean, it definitely can affect these guys. So honestly, them being on a little bit later of a pitch strategy might end up paying off for them here.
Yeah, definitely. And we're coming to about that 5-lap mark where they see technically they could come down next time by and make it all the way to the end, which will be just about 45 laps, unless if you're the race leader. But I mean, with Dennis Kane, he is your race leader, but he's pushing the lap car at the moment. So he's probably saving fuel in that number 4 machine, just riding around behind Stephen Luttrell in that 36 machine. So, I mean, if they really wanted to, they could probably come down now and make it the rest of the way. But that safe spot is definitely, between 5 to 10 laps from now.
Well, I know someone that is saving a lot of fuel, and that is going to be Timothy Osborne and that 92 machine. He's been maintaining about a half a second or more gap between him and Steve Salzmore here.
Yeah. One thing I've been really noticing with Eisburn, during the Super Speedway series is, he's one of those drivers that he can manage his fuel very well in these pack racing. So, with him being able to maintain, just about a half second, not really, push forward or anything like that, he's definitely doing a phenomenal job at back of that 5th spot.
Let's kind of take a look through the field here before we do a little bit of pit cycles. So we got Cody Benelli currently sitting P7, Dana Ryan P8. We got Troy Thomas P10, Patrick Millette P9, Terry Fennels P11. Stephen Luttrell still on the lead lap, leading this front group here in a pretty good spot if a caution does come out. Jonathan Stidham sitting in the lucky dog position, currently P15. Kind of just in the middle of some of the lead lap cars and lap down cars. Aaron Roth right behind him in line as well to potentially get a lucky dog here if something does happen. I mean, a lot of these guys still got a good shot if a caution does break out or we have multiple cautions here. So don't count anyone out just quite yet. It said enter tip. That dude's like several laps down, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think I'm out of it at this point.
Nah,
get back out there and
you can make it. You can make a comeback. It's all right.
If they all crash now and need 100 laps worth of repairs, maybe we're talking. But
hey, the whole field could just happen to lag out, and you can go out there and just run the laps out. You never know. I've seen some crazy things on iRacing. Hey, we even had one of our broadcasters win a race because nobody else showed up. I mean, who was that? Russ? Was it Russ?
yeah.
Yeah, just in case no one knows, it obviously wasn't broadcasted, but there was a race up like a couple days ago. Russ ended up winning it, and he was the only one that ran any laps. Gotta throw
great.
a little bit of shade out there in his direction.
That's great. All right. We are now working lap 120. Now the question is going to be, when do you make your final pit stop?
Yeah, anybody that pits now can make it to the end. It's just a matter of how many green-white checkers can you withstand.
That is a very good point, but it's also going to matter who you can get to come down to pits with you too, so you can maintain the most speed and time getting back out on the track here. A lot of these guys probably in voice comms on Discord, but a couple of these guys are not, so they're going to have to kind of make a plan in a quick and in a hurry here on the voice channel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at this point, if I was down in the field, I would have been making my plans 10 laps ago so that I know exactly what the plan is. You know, I'll constantly be asking, all right, Dennis, how many laps do you got?
So I am hearing over the radio, we are getting a little bit of that communication. Got someone saying they got about 6 laps left of fuel and asking whenever everyone's ready to pit to come down. So should potentially be seeing some pit stops within the next 5 to 6 laps here.
That was Brian LaPratt in the 101. Truth also has 6.
So with them only having about 6 laps of fuel, I'm kind of anticipating the top 3 up here probably have about 16, as I think they've been able to run about a good 10 laps more than everyone else. So they probably won't be pitting until around lap 130-ish, which will put them in a really good spot if we do end up having a bunch of green-white checkers.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay if they run it out here. They keep up with this good all. The top 3, we know they're more than good if they run that far.
Yeah, and they're not really even having to push very hard right now, so they could potentially even go farther than that if they really want to.
It's so easy to save fuel in these cars. These guys, especially in the middle of the pack, are probably mostly half throttle right now, and you still run 190 something. It's just the leader has to work a lot more. So when we see Steve Luttrell come in, he'll have a much longer stop than these other guys.
Yeah, it is very fair. I will say my open set I can run about half throttle and hit 200 before the corner, but I mean, that's a very trimmed out set, as they would call it.
A lot of checkups in these cars. You get such massive runs, and then so what do you do with them? I guess you kind of saw that out of me earlier, trying to force the middle, but the second wreck I had earlier was just a checkup, and I don't know if there was a little bit of net code involved because it kind of flung me into the wall more than I think it ordinarily would, but yeah, just easy to drive into the car in front of you. Just the checkups are really big.
Yeah, that is true. And then another thing, if you do have a really big run and you get anywhere close to that car in front of you, like say within 0.3, and you don't take it to the outside before that, it absolutely kills all your momentum. I don't know what it is about the air, like the air, the bubble, whatever you want to call it here, but these cars are just absolute killer. Versus the Xfinity car, you can get almost right up on someone's bumper with a huge run, and then go out to the outside and still carry that momentum.
Ever since the updates, the next gen cars have been very just inside dominant. It's tough to get a top line formed. You have to push pretty aggressively now to get the top line working. I don't think these guys are there yet where they're trying to form a top line. Still a lot of fuel saving, just patience going on. But
I just want to say, Robert Morris just had an issue up here in turns 1 and 2. I'm going to come back here and take a look. Yeah, he was getting back up to speed, and he just got down into the grass. Very easy to do as he ramps it over the exit roads.
Seeing a whole wave of cars come in this time by.
Yeah. So back to your point on the draft update. So as a truck, I was building trucks for a while, and they did that recent aero update to it or whatever. And the side draft is just so much stronger there that the outside line at these super speedways is just so much stronger than I think it needs to be with the trucks. Honestly, you can just get down there and side draft, and it literally kills all the momentum on the inside line. And then you get in this car, and like you said, you got to push like there's no tomorrow in these things to get the outside line to really work here.
Timothy Eisburn's been hit with speeding on pits.
Truth
that
Hook is coming in this time.
so that will be a 40-second hold there for Timothy Eisburn in that number 92 Shaco LLC machine.
And that's going to be absolutely killer for his races. He's been running pretty well today, and that's potentially going to put him a lap down or more. But still waiting for our leaders to come down. I believe Andrew said True Toke was coming down this time, so he's in pits as well with Aaron Roth and Frank Chavez there. So he'll have about a 3-car pack coming out of pits.
Steven Luttrell's got it made right now, being that last car in the lead lap because Dennis is just eating up that fuel saving behind him.
Oh yeah.
It's not really no real threat to being passed. You can just kind of hang out there and wait for a yellow.
Frank Chavez, he got hit with speeding on pits as well. Just all around, this has just been a very phenomenal race. As we have Puffenbarger now coming down by himself.
Seems like the Cody Benelli getting ready to come down pits as well on that 19 machine. So I've just seen him stick his hand out the window.
Yeah, nice to see a different color out there. Just got rocking that purple
Yeah.
people eater.
Purple People Eater.
I'm not
Yes,
sure
sir.
what the sponsor actually is on there.
Baylor's. He's the 191 horn flying purple people eater.
Is that Byler's or Baylor's? I think it's Byler's.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Cody coming down to pits. It looks like he's going to be able to get in pretty clean there. Whoa, locking up the tires just a little bit.
Yeah, and he's gonna have some help there with from Patrick Millett in that number 38 machine.
Yeah, and this first group of cars at pit is actually losing time to our leaders right now. So this is going to help them even more, considering they're going to take less fuel. They're going to have to try to get their act together and see if they can make up a little bit of time here to the leaders.
Yeah, Steve Sizemore's about 44 seconds back, maybe more at this point. That was last time by.
45, working on being 46 here as it's climbing a lot. But he is going to have Millet and Benelli coming out of pits potentially to get attached to that group there. So that will be able to help them a little bit. But still quite a bit of cars yet to pit up here in this front group. So a lot of these guys that was on a different strategy than our leaders able to save quite a bit of fuel here.
Right now, your race leaders, they have caught up with those first set of drivers that did make their way down pit road. And it's going to be very interesting to see how, like Dennis Kane, how he's going to play this. It looks like he is just going to stay right behind that 36 machine.
And I was about to say, oh no, the 36 went to the outside and Dennis didn't follow him. But Dennis is like, you know what? I'm going to check up and load him back in the line there. As you see that 92 going another lap down on that Shaco LLC machine. Sorry about that. Had a little bit of a stutter hiccup.
Definitely heartbreaking moment there for Timothy Eisburn in that number 92 Chevy. After having a really phenomenal race.
Smart move by Dennis just to follow these guys. Yeah, you could start to see a lucky dog battle here if he passes too many, and with those guys battling for the lucky dog, something can happen. So it's probably smart just to follow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that 21 dropping out of line, which he has scored a couple laps down here at the moment, so maybe just trying to get out of the potential battle coming up and trying to drop towards the back. It looks like Dennis Kane and Steven Luttrell, who's leading the charge here, trying to keep his lap. Coming up on a lot of lap traffic here at the moment. Truth Hook, the 9 machine, I believe, or the 6 machine. Oh, that's the 5 machine in front of them. My apologies. That's Brandon Puffenbarger.
Troy Thomas is coming in.
The Nitro Cowboy, Troy Thomas, and it looks like 3 more cars coming with him as well. It's going to be Terry Fennell, David Davis, Robin Lloyd, and Chris Lawrence, I believe, pitting with him. So it's going to be a group of 5 this pitting that time. And leaders, could come down at any point in time here. But, I mean, with all these lap cars in front of them, they're going to be able to stretch their fuel even farther. And it's honestly going to be well worth their time here.
I wonder if Alex will use his fast repair on this final stop, so he could potentially race at the end. Just don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he'd lead very well with that damage.
Would not be a bad idea here, I don't think.
It's been staying pretty green, but then again, if yellow comes out, you might want it later.
It's very true. It's kind of a coin toss in that situation. I mean, he's running pretty good with that damage. I mean, a 3rd place finish, even if he can't get the win today, would be really good for points. But a win would be even better. And he's sitting right in the perfect spot, coming to the white flag or whatever to take over the race lead. 3rd place is typically about the spot to be.
I mean, we've only had 2 cautions.
I think we've only had 1 that I've seen, unless one happened whenever I was going earlier.
You thank me for that one.
Yeah. Dang it, Andrew. What did that guy say earlier? Oh, it's gone. No comment.
Oh yeah, my friend Jacob. His comment was removed. He's still a little sour, even though he left here about a year ago.
Hey, old buddy, old pal. I mean,
We're still in his head 24/7 a year later, but that's okay.
people hold grudges for a long time sometimes.
We had a Benelli get up into the wall there,
We
trying to
love you,
pass that
Jacob.
lap down car.
Listen, bud, if Benelli doesn't touch the wall once a race, I think he loses focus, because that is his go-to move, is just to barely touch the wall. I don't know what it is. He does it at almost every track.
Yeah, that's true.
These slap cars are getting a little racy.
Oh yeah.
But they're not battling for a lucky dog, so I mean, it's for position, but
Yeah, so once again, Steve Sizemore, that 08 machine, he is just about 10 cars in front of your race leader. So now we got 25 laps to go. Now it's coming down to pretty much go time. And Kane, Wayne Scott, and Teff, they're gonna really need to make this last pit stop count.
It looks like we're about to. Looks like we're about to see some more pit stops here.
yeah, the whole chicken coop team is on the radio. Looks like Steve Luttrell went with them also.
Slow it down, slow it down, slow it down.
Kirby Wainscott almost getting into Dennis Kane there, but heck of a job to be able to dodge him there. As you've seen Alex Tech coming in a little hot, locking his brakes up. And let's keep a check on Alex, see if he actually uses his fast repair or not here.
And poof, there it
he
is.
did?
I love
Maybe
it.
anticipating no caution here, as I mean, the race has been pretty clean for the most part.
Yeah.
If they can get out to a decent lead here, I mean, we'll have to see.
Yeah, that could be a big decision.
Kirby Wainscott getting a very slow pit stop there.
Yeah, something tells me he might have missed his pit stall. And he had to back it up because he's lost Dennis and Alex. But Alex is having one heck of a pit stop as he came out in front of Dennis.
Yeah, he slid through his box by about 1.5 feet.
Yeah, and this is really going to hurt these top 3 leaders here as Sizemore's closing in really fast, already down to 7 seconds, down to 6 now. So these guys are going to have to get recuperated and grouped up the best they can, and Kirby Wainscott's going to have to hope he can latch on to some kind of draft here as Steve Sizemore and that pack come by him.
That's really going to hurt. It's really going to hurt the group of 3 up front. That 4th car makes a huge difference as far as pack speed goes.
Yeah, that is very true, but it's only about a 10-car battle for the win here at the moment, as LaPrade is about 42 seconds behind Stephen Luttrell going to be stuck a lap down at the moment.
This isn't over for Kirby though, because he's going to fall back to that bigger pack, and I do think they'll catch this group of 3 eventually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's just going to have to hope he can latch onto the draft here. What he needs to do is stay on the bottom, make them go around him, which he
Yep.
does. And that's going to slow them up a little bit as you see this in actual NASCAR. People will kind of make a chicane to make the faster group kind of slow up a little bit, and that pays off for Kirby Wainscott as he's going to take over the 3rd position in that group, actually moving, I believe. Who is that?
He only lost 1 spot, and that's to Steve Sizemore, who's directly in front of him. So I mean, that wasn't a bad move there by Wainscott. But now they are quickly approaching on the 3-car lead pack of Alex Teff, Dennis Kane, and the lap down car of Stephen Luttrell.
Yeah, Steve Sizemore using that 12 machine there as kind of a lap down car to push to keep him up in the front of this pack. Oh, that's the 42.
Oh, that 08 all over the back bumper of that 42 machine of Jonathan Stidham, getting him a little bit sideways there in 3 and 4, so that caused Sizemore have to check up and retry that push, and you know he's got to be careful not to turn that 42 machine in front of this entire field.
And things are starting to get a little heated over the radio. Maybe, you know, you get in these long races and coming down to the final few laps and people start to get a little heated and a little aggravated. But, I mean, they're still keeping it relatively clean here. As it looks like Kirby Wainscott taking a look to the inside of the 08 here. 08's going to shut the door on him. And we have a caution flag. Looks like Brendan Pufferbarger off the track.
Oh, the 45 Ryan Warp gets absolutely clobbered.
Ooh, the 50 car Terry Fennell getting put up into the wall hard as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the 50 machine.
Yeah, on the backstretch
absolutely
with the 50.
destroyed.
Yeah, he got right reared by the 49. Just a misaligned push, I think.
As we ride out
49's
of board.
apologizing.
Alright, let's see.
Jeez.
I'm not sure. I guess it depends on consistent on. You have any leaders ahead of.
Yeah, let's take a look here as you see Terry Fennell absolutely getting right hooked hard into that outside wall. Oh, the 5 had absolutely nowhere to go there.
Do you mind sharing your screen, Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 45 came in pretty late there. Almost looked like a Natalie Decker incident from last night, if anybody watched that.
Oh yeah, the comment that was made after that wreck too was absolutely hilarious. You know, the dude coming up the track with his hood up over his front windshield and broke steering probably, don't even know if anyone's coming or not.
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, in her defense, okay, she don't know that that car's broken, like broke.
Well, when she hit it, she ought to be able to see the hood was up on the, the front windshield.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I could see being surprised the car came back up on track, but it's obvious that he wasn't in control of it.
I mean, just unfortunate luck, but it looks like Alex Tett's going to be keeping the lead here. Alex Tett, Dennis Kane are 2 biggest movers up 22 spots for the both of them here, but this caution is going to change things up a little bit. Is this going to allow for everyone to get a little more grouped up here? And I'm not really seeing the leaders coming down to pits here. I believe they're probably going to stay out, especially the top 3 being able to save, or the top 2 being able to save as much fuel as they were able to. Even Kirby Wainscott in that 4th position. They should be good to go, even with Green-White-Checkered and all.
We're gonna see now if anybody can make that top line work. Been a lot of fuel saving and just kind of getting the laps done up to this point, but it's time to go now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we're only working our second caution here. We've got just about 20 laps to go.
You know, this
Yeah.
might be a little too soon, but I'm gonna shout out OBS for getting Mike's thing fixed for this race today.
Yeah. Yeah, I was looking into other programs, but a lot of them are, paid to use without watermarks and stuff. And Streamlabs, I don't think works out very well with the overlays from SDK. So
No, I mean They got Streamlabs OBS. I mean, it does. I honestly like it better than I do regular OBS. You can go on there if you want to. You could pay and get all sorts of themes and things for like. I got a podcast I do, so I use the themes that's already pre-made for that. Comes in
Right.
handy quite a bit. And then once you download it, if you don't pay, not telling you to do this, but if you only pay for a month, download the theme, don't pay for the next month, you get to keep the theme as long as you don't delete it. You know.
yeah, for sure. But Alex Teft, it looks like he's going to choose the outside lane, and Dennis Kane will be on the inside here of row one. Kirby Wainscott going to be up top behind Alex Teft, and Steve Sizemore will be down low behind Dennis Kane.
Yeah, and I think this is a really smart move from Alex Tift here, as he's going to be able to get the jump. I'm sure him and Kirby are going to be on comms to kind of get a general idea when Alex is going to go, and that's going to allow for them to possibly get in front of this 4-car and drop down and get them together as a team here. As they've been working phenomenally well with each other all race.
Yeah.
So
Really
Stephen
great day for
Luttrell
Dennis.
back into the race now. I believe he ended up having to take the lucky dog, so he will be starting at the very back of the pack. But another caution, and he'll be right back into the mix of things.
Yeah, I think this lucky dog battle is going to get pretty crazy also. We've got the battle for the win, but everybody 12th on back is a lap down. Let's see, 12th through about 19th is one lap down, and then guys further back are more, but that's going to be just as intense as this battle for the win.
Oh, yeah.
That is very true, and I got a feeling this is not going to be the last caution for today, as the aggression level is about to be turned up to 10. So I suggest everybody tighten your seatbelts and get ready, as this is about to be a hornet's nest here in the middle of the field, and we're about to go green flag racing once again. Alex Teft leading us back to the green. Dennis Kane on the inside. Alex Teft getting out to a pretty good jump here. And Kirby Wainscott going to try to follow through so they could drop down in front of Dennis Kane, I believe. But Dennis Kane getting a pretty good restart himself, possibly checking up a little bit to even lift him down here.
Yeah, looks like a little team coordination. Had to be careful not to make that lane shift prior to the start-finish line, which they didn't.
And look at that. David Davis able to follow him through as well and kind of get them separated just a tad bit. But how long is it going to be before we see someone take a run on the outside? I'm really thinking it's not going to be too long here.
I don't know.
Really need a lot of committed guys up there to make that work. If you do it at the wrong time, you're just getting flushed down the toilet basically all the way to the back.
That is true, but we do got somebody up there on the outside lane, possibly a lap down car trying to get up here.
So what really hurts it is when guys jump in front of it from in front of the upper lane. If they can get a run before they slide up in front of the upper lane, it helps. But some of these guys just pull up and they hit a wall of air, and they wind up 10, 15 miles an hour slower by the time you reach them, and it really just hurts and checks up that lane. So the more guys that join it from the back, I think the healthier it'll be. And if these guys can, make a little gap and get a run before they pull up in front of it, that'll help. You can see it just kind of completely stalled out back there.
Yeah, they were attempting, but it just did not work out. But I got a feeling within the final, I'd say 7 laps is when we're really going to start seeing it form up quite a bit here.
I was finding if I kept there's a seam sort of in the middle of the track. You can kind of see it, not right now down the backstretch, but once we get to the corner and about the middle of the track, I was finding if I kept my rights on those, I could do a little bit of something with the top lane, but definitely a lot harder than it used to be before the update.
Yeah, me personally, I like to ride that wall. I don't really like to try to use the side draft. I feel like it just causes too many issues. You have to worry about the bottom line coming up, potentially hitting you there, and that costs you a lot of speed. But if you can ride up there with at that wall with a good group of guys, you can actually make up quite a bit of momentum up there as well. But it's all down to driver preference, honestly, at that point.
Yeah, it's like the side draft in the trucks is more powerful than ever, and then probably as weak as ever in this car. Used to be able to really pull the inside lane back just by side drafting. Sometimes it almost feels faster to leave some room now.
Honestly, I don't mind iRacing doing updates, but they do so many big changes throughout like the season that it just really affects how the cars drives. We got a little bit of issues there in the back. I believe Timothy Osborne involved in that, but they were able to keep it straight, and we're still green flag racing.
I think the 57 might have got forced into the pits, maybe the pit exit.
Yeah, I'm trying to go take a look, see what happened here while Mike stays on the live side of things.
I actually just went back and we looked at it. It looked very awkward. I can't tell you what happened.
Yeah, there was a big checkup in the tri-oval, and then looks like he clipped that pit exit cone on the way by, just as a result of the little accident.
What was that Bob Ross used to say? There is no accidents, it's pretty little mistakes or something like that.
He's got quite a dent in his front bumper now.
Are they filling those cones up with lead? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, I think he he drove in the back of Truth during that checkup before the cone incident, but you would think so.
Man, there's been a couple times I've got the cone stuck to the front of my car, and you wouldn't think it would affect how the car handles or anything being a virtual game, but it really does kind of mess with you there, as it's just stuck there and you're stuck staring at it.
That's very, very true.
I think we're still seeing Timothy Eisbrand in the lucky dog position here. Coming to about 10 to go?
Yep, 10.
Yeah, 10 goes across the line next time.
Yep. And we've got a little bit of movement happening back here in the back. I wonder if they're trying to think about trying to get something moving. As you see, one car just absolutely rocket around the outside. That's going to be the 45 of Ryan Warp. No, that was it. Yeah, I guess that was Ryan Warp trying to make something around the outside. Maybe it was the 35 of Adam Squires. Somebody was trying to make some sort of move.
Anyways, 10 to go here, and pending any cautions, I mean, Alex Theft is looking really good up here. Chicky Cooper racing working phenomenally well together at the moment. And if anyone isn't able to get this outside line formed up before too long to kind of get some form of momentum or a run build up, it looks like Steve Sizemore taking a look to the outside in the 08 machine, being pushed by, I believe, the 38 of Patrick Millett.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much go time at this point. We've got 9 laps to go this time by, so, you know, these guys are looking to double it up and try to make a run to the front of the field, as you see them now starting to gain some momentum on that outside.
And just like that, Kirby Wainscott realized it was go time, and he's all over the back bumper. Alex Theft on the inside lane, and Dennis Kane now getting attached to them as well, as I believe David Davis hopped up to the outside in that 777 machine.
Yeah, he saw those outside cars coming, so he quickly moved his way to the outside, and he's going to get help now from Sizemore as they are looking to take over the lead here through 3 and 4 and possibly come to the start-finish line. They're looking for that race lead.
Yeah, what a run. Steve Sizemore pushing that 777 out to the front. They are almost clear to drop down, I believe, if they want to.
That's the best we've seen that top line work all day.
Yeah, as those two will now drop down to the inside. That would bring David Davis in that 777 out front with Sizemore right behind him. And now it's going to be very interesting to see what Alex Steff decides to do in that number 43 machine as we have 8 laps to go.
And Brian LaPratt trying to get that outside lane to work, being pushed by, I believe, Timothy Osborne, who is a lap down here at the moment. Not able to really get anything done as they're not able to get that attachment like Steve Sizemore and David Davis did on that outside lane.
I'm wondering if Alex will jump up in front of this top line here. Looks like he and Kirby both could at the moment.
It could be potentially waiting for Dennis Kane to get clear as well. He's not quite there yet. He is now if they decide they want to hop up there coming out of this corner.
Yeah, start to drift back again. Kirby's wanting to go up there, but
yeah, they should get a pretty good run coming down the backstretch here as they had a little bit of a gap to Steve Sizemore. Is he going to take it? He does not. Possibly waiting for a last lap call here to make a move on that outside lane.
it would have been really tempting to do, but you can see how quickly it drifted back. It's so easy to make the wrong call.
Yeah. See, the biggest problem is that outside lane right now is not in a tight formation. They're kind of all over the place at the moment. So that's definitely going to be hurting their momentum on the outside. So if they really want to start moving to the front, they got to really get themselves hooked up single file.
They've also got to think about their temperatures. Not that we're going to pay it much mind going for the win here at the end, but things heat up pretty quick too. So if you're going to make that push on the top, you got to kind of do it quick before your engine gets too hot. You got to lift.
Yep, and Alex Steff, he's making a run to the outside now.
Yeah, with the very well-timed move is Timothy Osborne is not to the back of the 08, so they are going to have a lot of momentum coming out of this corner. But I don't know if it's going to be enough there. Steve Sizemore is pushing that 777 to David Davis pretty well on that inside line.
5 laps to go here at Daytona for the season opener of the Racer Elite Premier Next Gen Series right here on the Racing Elite Network. We are now running double wide all the way through the field, coming down the back straightaway. These guys now know it is absolutely go time as you see the top 4 drivers on the outside just pushing each other, trying to make some sort of movement, as you see Alex Steff now getting to the outside of Eisburn. And remember, Eisburn, he is 1 lap down.
Got the lucky dog battle all the way up in the 3rd position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we're seeing a lot of movement between these guys here as we got one around in the
big
wall.
Trouble.
Absolute parking lot coming through the triangle there.
The 7-Eleven.
Looks like it's going to be Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor Fettig, Aaron Roth, Frank Chavez, Truth Hoke involved in this one. Adam Squires involved.
Yeah, taking a look at it here, it looks like there was a checkup on the inside and that caused the 7-Eleven to come up and just ever so slightly get into Truth Hoke here, which is going to send them back down the track and just cause an absolute pileup coming through the tri-oval, which very unfortunate for a couple of these drivers here. But I think that is going to give Timothy Osborne the lucky dog here.
Massive hit for the 57.
Yeah.
Aaron Roth is actually our defending champ. He was the Daytona 500 winner in 2025.
Well, with there only being 3 laps to go here at the moment, I got a feeling we're about to start our overtime attempts. So
Yeah.
I believe 3 attempts at a Green-White-Checkered here. So hopefully a lot of these guys have enough fuel to make it to the end. And I think joining us up here in the booth, we have Matt Mettler as well.
Gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're at.
Good morning.
Hey Matt, how
Yeah,
you
just
doing, buddy? Have you been enjoying the race so far?
I'll tell you what, the opening was just hilarious in my opinion. I know, a sub 11 a.m. start is rough, especially for all of us that work late. And I had to support the cause, throw you guys a couple super chats, try to get the conversation going. So, yeah, I thought you guys have been doing a terrific job thus far.
Hey, how do you feel about that, Chevy Ram Raptor F-150 or F-250?
You're onto something there, Dakota. I think they should absolutely put something like that into production. I think that car looks terrifying. It reminds me of the T-Rex made famous by Jeff Gordon back in the 90s. We're going to see if it has a little more pizzazz left in it before this one's all said and done.
Oh, guys, how y'all feeling? We're about to go into a Green-White-Checkered attempt. David Davis currently leading the field here, pending if anyone needs to come down for fuel to top off, just in case we have multiple Green-White-Checkered attempts.
As of right
I think
now,
I'm hoping I'm on the inside for this restart.
yeah.
That is a very fair point. Who do we see potentially winning this thing out of the top 10 that are on the lead lap currently?
I mean, it's Daytona. It's still anybody's game until that checkered flag falls. As you see, Eisberg now getting his wave around. I mean, that's really tough. Because, I mean, anybody back in, like, that 7th, 8th spot of Dana Ryan and Brian LaPratt, crap can happen in front of them, and they take home their win. So it's still anybody's game at this point, but you're definitely going to be looking at David Davis, Steve Sizemore, and Alex Teft, and possibly even Kirby Wainscott really flexing their muscles here in this first Green-White-Checkered attempt. I think it's going to come down to one of those 4 drivers.
This is what I think is going to happen. I think the top 5, Kirby Wainscott is going to end up leaving Alex Teft on the last lap here to win the race.
I already have this one figured out. Have you not forgotten who is sitting there in P3? Mr. Primetime, Alex Teft, always shows up when there's high stakes on the line. It was that case when I was up in the booth covering this man. It's Daytona. It's all or nothing. And like that marketing slogan says for Toyota, let's go places. He's going to put that 43 in victory lane when all is said and done.
I think this inside lane is going to be your best friend. I'm not sure if they'll be able to really create much of a run with that top line. It might be tempting to block a run up there. I think I would just stay bottom and pass anybody that goes up the block, because I just can't see a decent run coming from up there.
That is fair, and I believe with Alex Tiff starting on the inside in 3rd place, he's going to have the help of his teammate Dennis Kane. And Kirby Wainscott is going to be kind of being no man's land. They're going to have to hope he's able to drop down and get down there hooked up with them as well. It does look like David Davis is going to start on the inside, so it's going to put Sizemore on the outside. He's going to have to hope to get a pretty good restart, pretty good jump on this restart here.
Yeah, but he's definitely got Kirby Wainscott behind him, who's definitely not going to let off of that back bumper until we see the checkered flag. So, you can expect those 2 drivers on the outside to really try to make a run for it.
Hear me out, but there being, 3 teammates up here, would it be advantageous for them to let David Davis get out to a really good jump here, let Kirby Wainscott down, get a good run coming down the backstretch to take over the race lead?
That is a great point, and hopefully that driver who's sitting P1 right now understands that there are teammates lined up. You have to be very careful on this restart here if you're that Chevrolet Camaro, and here's why. Dakota alluded to it. If you go all out, and it's Green-White-Checkered, anywhere else, absolutely dig as hard as you can. But if you jump out too far ahead, you guys know what's going to happen. They're going to be able to generate a run. 1 car is not as fast as 3, and they'll be able to freight train you on the outside. So while this leader has to make sure he gets onto the throttle in time, he wants to also look in his rearview mirror and manage that gap to try to prevent that as we get ready to go back green flag racing.
Yeah, and something else to note here, a lot of these leaders have not had to use their fast repair. So if the caution does happen to come out and some of these leaders were involved, they will be able to come down to pits to get their damage fixed. So probably going to see some pretty aggressive racing here, as it is the Green-White-Checkered attempt.
Sit back and let you guys take it away.
That the voice of the HMFIC of the league, Andrew Teft. Cannot thank him for all he does. Here we go, boys. Get ready for some overtime green flag racing.
Yeah, David Davis going to be leading us back to green in the box, and then we are green flag once again. David Davis getting out there, pretty good jump. Alex F's wasting no time, and here comes Kirby Wainscott potentially dropping to the bottom like we were discussing, as he was left plenty of room by his teammate of Dennis Kane in that 4 machine.
David Davis currently holding off that Chicken Coop Racing team as they are staying second and third right behind them as they lost their teammate of Dennis Kane on the outside. And so you guys see Kirby Wainscott now trying to make a run to the outside. He's going to get ditched on the outside. Dennis Kane, he's going to come right back behind Alex Teft. And now you've got that 08 of Steve Sizemore. He is now pushing Wainscott out of turn number 4. Here they come to the white flag. White flag is in the air. It is on like Donkey Kong here at Daytona. Here they come.
It is on.
Go for it.
It is on like Donkey Kong here at Daytona. The Colonel, Kirby on the outside. I thought he was going to have it, but he doesn't. It's a 4-way tandem push on the bottom, and that bottom lane now surges ahead as we go down the backstretch for the final time. It's all 3 manufacturers in a 3-way tandem. Chevrolet leads over the Toyota of Alex Teft and that Ford as we barrel down the backstretch into 3 and 4.
Who is going to take home the race win? Who will make the move out of turn number 4? It is David Davis's race to lose. Here they come across the start finish line into the tribal. It is going to be Dennis. David Dennis will take home the race win as we have an absolute carnage now here after the checkered flag.
Yeah, David Davis getting the race win in that 777 machine. Andrew Tett's going to be second, and Dennis Kane third. And I want to point out something. Coming, two to go there. Dana Ryan in that 49 machine ended up pushing Dennis Kane to the point that Wainscott got trapped on the outside there. And what a smart move that was from him, as them 3 had been working so well together all race.
I'll tell you what, how about that finish? That's why you show up to these races. That's why you sit here through 400 miles to have a finish like that. I really thought Alex Teft had this race won. I figured he was going to have the momentum on the high side, but all those cars clustered together like that really kind of impeded his momentum. Nonetheless, what a great thrilling finish here at Daytona to open the season.
Yeah, it is very true, but since we got so many broadcasters in here, I need to go prep for my Daytona 500 race, so I'm going to go ahead and hop out of here, guys.
Alrighty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Dakota LaRue, thank you for joining us as always. And we're going to try to slow this down here for you guys. Here at the start-finish line. So we can see how close it was for David Davis. As they should be appearing right there. That is as close as you can get, guys.
16 1,000ths of a second.
Absolute.
That's right. You heard that correct, folks. The boss man is not kidding. 16 1,000ths of a second. That was the margin of victory. And that's what these guys, these seasoned veterans, have always done here on these big tracks, especially the super speedways. They never disappoint. I'll tell you what, I'm going to screenshot that. That's going to be my background on my computer from quite some time. That is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many close races here at Daytona and Talladega. And, I mean, this was just, like he said, this is as close as you can get, without really, losing yourself. But, man, what an absolute thriller we got to experience here with David Davis in that 777 machine taking home the race win. And before we talk with our race winners, as he blows it up on the grass, he's going to need to get it over to victory lane. Let's go ahead and take a look here at your race results. Let me cover a couple things here real quick.
That engine will be a little tough to put through tech.
Just a little bit. All right, ladies and
Getting a
gentlemen.
report that some of the Pistons have landed in the RV lot out of that engine.
David Davis will bring home your race win, leading 23 laps. Alex Teft for Chicken Coop, he'll bring it home second, followed by Dennis Kane in that third spot. Fourth is going to go to Dana Ryan. Troy Thomas will bring it home top 5. Kirby Wainscott unfortunately fell back to that 6th spot. Patrick Millett in 7th. Steve Sizemore will bring it home 8th. Stephen Luttrell 9th, and Brian LaPratte will bring it home 10th. 11th is going to be Timothy Eisburn, followed by Adam Squires, Truth Hoke, Aaron Roth, and Jonathan Stidham will round out your top 15. 16th is going to be Brandon Puffenbarger, Robert Morris, Rowan Lloyd, Ryan Warp, and Eric Dodd will bring home that 20th spot. 21st is going to be Chris Lawrence, followed by Trevor Fettig, Cody Benelli, Terry Fennell, Frank Chavez, and then Andrew Teft to round out your field.
And those were the 26 drivers that took the initial green flag here at Daytona. After 400 miles of all the high-flying, high-octane racing action, only one can win, and that man is David Davis. And what a race he drove this afternoon.
Yeah,
You must be really good at tongue twisters. That was a lot to say.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, Andrew, but let me tell you what, I always love having Matt up here in the booth because he comes up with some crazy things to say, and it all just always makes sense no matter what.
I think I'd have to try 5 times.
But I appreciate it.
I'd have to try 5 times to spit that out.
Alrighty, give me just one moment here as I make a couple adjustments. Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and see if we have our third place of Dennis Kane downstairs. Yes, we do. Let's go ahead and bring up your third place driver that number 4 machine, Dennis Kane. Dennis, Mike, Andrew, Matt up in the booth. You got a copy?
Got it. I got you guys. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. What an incredible race all around for everybody out there. But man, let me tell you what, those last 20 laps and then that Green-White-Checkered. Talk us through the race, and then, man, what could you have done different so that you would have ended up in victory lane today?
Well, I had to gotten that wreck early, the very first wreck, so that was put me on caution, because I had used my fast repair for that. So I knew I had to be pretty careful the rest of the race, but other than that, I think that, me and Kirby and Alex, working together, we executed probably exactly what we wanted to do. From the race, we when we cycled through, we stayed out longer, so we ended up being in front even after we exited the pits. We kind of got mixed up the very last pit cycle because we really wish we had 4 cars instead of 3. But it probably wouldn't have mattered because the caution came out anyway. But that was really our plan, was to just kind of gap the field and then hope that we could have 4 or 5 cars with us in the last group, and then hold them off those last few laps. But other than that, the last few green-white checkers or last few restarts there, we're just kind of working together as a team, figuring out what lanes we're going to go into, who's going to get behind who, and it's just a great team effort all the way around. Really wish we could have brought it home for Chicken Coop, but we had some good finishes. I believe 2nd, 3rd, and 6th. So
Yeah, definitely really good race all around. Andrew, do you got any questions for Dennis?
Yeah, congratulations. That's probably the best I've seen you out at one of these plate races. You kept yourself in contention all race, you and all of our teammates, and just want to say great job, great P3, and we'll pass it back to you for your shoutouts.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. It felt good. And it was a good race. Um, when you're working with people that you trust, you're more tend to mix it up. So that was a real big help there. And just shout out to everybody. Racers Elite Network, Chicken Coop Racing. Bok, bok. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, who dared you to do that?
I hope he doesn't think I'm going to do that in my interviews. that can't be a new thing.
Alrighty, Dennis, congratulations on your third place, and we'll see you next week over in Echo Park.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of that of that number 4 machine, Dennis Kane. All right, let's go ahead and bring up Alex Teft. Alex, this is Mike Andrew Matt up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
What a phenomenal run there at the end for you. Making the right moves at the right times. How did it all play out in your eyes? And man, what could you done different to get around that 777 of David Davis?
Not too much. Maybe try to make the outside move a little sooner. When I made the move, Dennis had somebody just barely on his outside, and he couldn't really get up there with me. But throughout the race, we just, me, Kirby, and Dennis worked real well together. Stayed on the same strategy. I had gotten caught up in that first wreck and had 6 minutes of damage for 80% of that race. I had finally used the faster pair on the final green flag stop to just not have any disadvantage there, so I can actually turn and get off a pit road and all that, and caution came out soon after, so we were able to maintain the track position up front. And yeah, on that last lap, I tried to create a little gap between me and the leader, but I had Dennis right on my bumper because he saw the other guys coming, so we couldn't really do that. And yeah, you saw how the rest played out. Just couldn't get that extra fender.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking back at that first incident, who would you blame for the start of that? I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. Andrew, do you have any questions for Alex?
Hey, your car still looked pretty good for 6 minutes of damage. That's hard to believe, but yeah, just great run. I was really nervous watching you the last couple laps because it's so easy to make a move up top and then just get flushed all the way to the back. So it's tough to decide when to do it, but it was close, and you guys came away with a really great finish, all three of you.
Chicken Koopa fared pretty well today, except for one of us, but yeah, I won't mention names.
So Dennis made some chicken sound effects in his interview. I think that's a new thing. Do you have any chicken sound effects for us?
No thanks.
No.
you chicken. All right. Is there any? Remind me. Did he do shout outs already? I don't remember.
Not yet.
Okay.
Thank you guys in the Racers Elite booth on this broadcast here. And thank Elite Self Racers Elite. Yeah. Thank the Chicken Coop Racing teammates. Like I said, we worked well throughout the day, and I also had Puff in the chat too, helping us with a little bit of strategy and stuff like that. Then thank my friends and viewers that watch all the time, and my wife.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Alex Teft, your runner-up here at Daytona. We'll look forward to seeing you next week over at Echo Park Speedway.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in the man of the hour, your MericaTees.com 400 race winner, David Davis, driver of that 777 machine. David, Mike, Andrew, Matt up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do. Can you hear me?
Got you loud and clear. Andrew, go ahead and take it away, buddy.
Well, you went ahead and won a free entry into this series for Sundays, and definitely made the most of it. Why don't you just kind of walk us through your race and how it all played out, and those last few moments on the final lap there with Alex and Dennis on your bumper must have been pretty nerve-wracking.
No, it is. I mean, Daytona's always nerve-wracking, right? Just because it's you don't know what's going to happen and when. I mean, you can be leading the race, and next thing you know, you're out of the race, or you can be in dead last, and in 3 laps you're leading. You know what I mean? You just never know what to expect. So it was a little nerve wracking not having the outside line there, only because the guys that are pushing you, not necessarily on your team or whatever, can dart out any minute and kind of shove you back and move you around a little bit. So it's always nerve wracking. I was thankful to keep it out in front and everyone pushing, and lucky enough to come out with a win. I mean, great crew and great crowd and everyone, but it's never a guarantee, even if you are leading at one point.
Yeah, great job. Mike or Matt, you got any questions for David?
No, just what a way to hold off the field there on that last Green-White-Checkered, and you know we were all thinking that that chicken coop racing drivers would make their way around you, and then a couple of them had a couple issues there on the final lap trying to make a run, but man, just what a way to end it out here in Daytona, and can't wait to see what you can do over at Echo Park.
No, definitely, definitely. I'm excited for that one. Yeah, I was actually talking to him in the booth, and he said they were just kind of struggling. I mean, obviously their plan was, and it would have been mine too. Riding second and third to go around. They went to do it on the back stretch and it just didn't line up. So I was thankful. It stayed clean and safe, and everyone's happy coming around 3 and 4, and then obviously the start finish line. Obviously we kind of veered out, and went 3 wide. I mean, as expected, but um, you know, awesome day. Thankful for you guys hosting the event. Excited to be here. Like you said, I'd won the. It was actually I think I got 4th in the race. It paid top 3, and then I got like a random draw winning the entry to this race and or this series. So I'm excited to do the season and hopefully do some good, and heck of a way to start the season for sure.
Yeah, definitely a really good run there. And before we let you go, David, is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Just racetraileraccessories.com. We do a lot of race trailer ramps for those guys that own real race cars, whether it be circle track or dirt. We build a lot of accessories for motorsports trailers and one-off stuff. I mean, if you're looking for custom builds, or we do a lot of manufacturing, like I said, ramps or fuel jug holders, stuff like that. So anything to supply trailers to get them up and worthy to your specs, to make everything easy, lighting, whole 9 yards. So that would pretty much be about it.
Alrighty, well, congratulations here at Daytona, and we look forward to seeing you next week over at Echo Park.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, driver of that number 777 Chevrolet, David Davis. Dana Ryan, he is down here.
And that works so diligently hard in the background to make this great league possible. Go ahead, Mike.
Sorry about that. I kind of moved myself. But yeah, Dana Ryan is down in the waiting room, and I would like to bring him up if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Dana, this is Mike, Matt, and Andrew up in the booth. Do you got a copy?
Oh, hey guys, what's going on?
What is up? We normally don't talk with anybody outside the top 3, but I'm actually kind of glad you jumped up into the waiting room, because, I've been watching you as of late, and you're starting to become one of those drivers that I'm watching every single week, and, your race here today just proves, my little theory I got going about you. You're really coming to your own here in Racers Elite, and what are your thoughts about this upcoming season, and what do you got to, what's your plans for these upcoming seasons?
Well, first off, I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, just I tend to stay on the conservative side, try to. This being the first points race, we wanted to start off on the right foot. Yeah, just glad to survive it and tickled to death to bring home 4th place.
Yeah, every week you seem to get quicker and quicker, and you're starting to bump elbows with some of the best over here at Racers Elite. So we're definitely excited to see what you can do this upcoming season for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, tickled to death. Thanks to you guys for doing this broadcast. Thanks to the people watching. Hope it continues to grow, and yeah, we'll see what we can do next few races.
Absolutely looking forward to seeing you next week over at Echo Park.
Perfect.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll be your fourth place driver, Dana Ryan. But man, Andrew, Matt, what a fantastic race here at Daytona. And this is definitely one heck of a way to finish out the Daytona week, not only here for Racers Elite, but, you know, in the official series as well. What are you guys' thoughts, final thoughts of the race, and who do you guys got to win the Daytona 500 today?
Question. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to getting back out there next week. Give it another go. Maybe I'll make more than 14 laps. But yeah, today all the Roush cars look pretty strong in the duels despite crashing. So hoping that they've got their cars fixed back up and they'll be just as strong as they looked the other day.
That's a great point, Andrew. And I think the fours are fast as well. They've proven that, as he said, all race week long. The question is, can they survive the grueling 500 miles? Can they keep all the fenders on it? That's something that has plagued those cars in real life in the past. So that's what I'm going to have my eye kept on. My dark horse pick is going to be the driver of the 7, also a mentor to Cletus McFarland during his ventures at Daytona, including the Truck Series and the ARCA race yesterday. Shout out to him for coming home P11. Hell yeah, brother. Way to get it done. And I'll tell you what, Mike, these drivers put on a class act today. I know Andrew kind of had a little bit of a moment there early on. Wish you could probably have that one back, but that's plate racing. That's what you come to expect here. And that's why it puts on such a great show from the broadcast booth, and that's why I love plate racing. It brings out the best in everybody, and it brings out the drama and excitement. And if you think you've seen it all, just watch one of these races, and I promise you it'll have you standing out full attention by the time everything is all said and done. Thanks for having me up here with you guys. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure having you up here, Matt. Yeah, and to kind of run off of what you said, the race that we experienced here today, here on the Racers Elite Network, you guys, I was at the edge of my seat the entire race. They were running single file, racing smart. And of course, we come to expect crashes at the end, and that's exactly what happened. And all around, I was on the edge of my seat, and just what a phenomenal day with David Davis coming out with your race win. Andrew, do you have any final thoughts before I close out?
I just thank you both for helping out, and Dakota. I know he left a little early, but great job today, and looking forward to doing it all again next week at the same time. We'll be at Atlanta, which is another plate race now. I've also got 4 other brand new seasons starting this week, and it's too late to join. So let's see, Tuesdays we've got a new season of truck starting, Wednesdays Xfinity, and Thursdays we've got a brand new Gen 4 season starting. Matt's going to join us in that. And Fridays we've got another season of super speedway racing. So always plenty going on here. You can find all our info right over at racerselite.com.
Yeah, absolutely. Take a look over at racerselite.com. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us right here on the Racers Elite Network. I'm Mike Taylor up here in the booth, joined by Matt Metler, the one, the only, Andrew Teft, and Dakota LaRue. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you sometime this week, Dakota. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, always remember this. No matter what you do in life, you guys have fun doing it. If it's not fun, well, you go and make it fun. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you have yourself a beautiful, amazing time zones.